The following local program is a special presentation exclusively for the subscribers of Time Warner Cable.
The law offices of Young Woolridge. Kern Radio 1410. Real Rock 104. And Jesus Shack present the High School Football Game of the Week, exclusively on Time Warner Cable.
Good evening, Kern County. Welcome back. It's week number 2 on the High School Football Game of the Week, exclusively shown to you on Time Warner Cable, alongside my partner in time, Brian Adams. Good evening. Foothill Trojans visit the West High Vikings tonight in Game 2 of our year-long series in Time Warner Cable. Brian, good evening. Nice to have you with us.
Oh, thanks for having me out here tonight. It's a good game we're going to have on tap. You know, the Foothill Trojans, who gave up a lot of yards on the defense rushing last week, have to step it up because the West High offense is going to run that veer with the three-headed attack of Magsby, Leach, and Wegas.
Foothill High School, I spoke with the head coach, Scott Douglas, just prior to going on the air. He'll acknowledge it's a rebuilding year. However, he says we're making momentum, a little slow, but we're making momentum for an age of group of guys at this age, you know, at the high school level at Foothill. Is it tough to get ready after taking kind of a thumping last week?
And that's what he's going to have to deal with this week, is getting the kids' confidence back and also starting to build give them a building blocks, per se, with just the basics in football. But they do have one shining point, and that is Dan Engel. He, in my opinion, is either one of the top 3 quarterbacks in this area. Strong arm, and I think they have to ride his golden arm if they have a chance tonight.
Look forward to watching Mr. Engel. Let's talk about the Vikings. Obviously, we spoke with their coaches tonight. You and I were speaking to the West High Viking coaching staff. They feel pretty good about things so far. They got a couple big linemen. They've got an exciting quarterback. And you had mentioned their backfield. Talk to us about West High.
West High is going to run the veer. So basically that defense for Phil's going to have to be disciplined because they're going to fake the handoff to the fullback and then try to option off the end with the quarterback, Wegas, and pitching the ball to Leach. It was highly effective last week as they got a big victory against Ridgeview, and they're going to have to be disciplined tonight and run their offense.
High school football, week 2, exclusively shown on Time Warner Cable. We appreciate having you here. We appreciate our sponsors. We'll be back at the beginning of the game of the Foothill Trojans visiting the West High Vikings in just a moment.
Some things can't be built in a day. Things like honesty, dedication, good hard work, and integrity. Since 1939, the law offices of Young Woolridge has had one of the strongest personal injury teams in the entire Central Valley. Today, that team is stronger than ever before. Through the years, our attorneys have won some of the highest dollar personal injury verdicts in Kern County. Put our experience to work for you. The law offices of Young Woolridge. Integrity you can trust.
101.5 KGFM, your station for continuous soft rock favorites. Listen at work. Listen at home. Listen in the car. The artists you know, the songs you love. 101.5 KGFM.
The media has become a staple in our everyday lives, whether it's a song, an advertisement, or even a news story.
Everywhere you turn, there's a message in one form or another.
Do you realize how much media your child is exposed to every day?
And everything your child sees and witnesses affects them.
It's time to take action and become involved in what messages your child comes in contact with.
Filter out the negativity and let these messages be positive.
It's up to us to shape their future. Let it be a happy one.
Time Warner Cable. They offer their customers
so much.
For one, there's
Roadrunner high-speed online.
It's 50 times faster than dial-up.
And 33%
faster than
DSL.
Doesn't even compare.
Plus, it's always on.
No dialing in.
I got free installation.
You can't beat their
customer service.
They're always friendly and really helpful.
And the extended lobby and phone hours make it easier on my schedule to make changes and additions to my account.
But you know what is really great?
Digital cable. Oh, do I love digital cable.
There's over 240 channels
And the on-screen guide is great.
You can watch one show
and at the same time, check the other channels and see what else is on.
Plus, the parental control
is a good thing to have
when you have young kids. Eye control.
You watch movies you want, whenever you want.
You can pause,
rewind, fast forward, stop, or replay
the movie anytime.
There are no tapes to return or late fees.
You control it all.
Time Warner Cable, my entertainment connection.
Number 2 of high school football game of the week, brought to you exclusively by Time Warner Cable. This is Vance Palm alongside my partner in time, Brian Adams. Brian, we're ready to go again for another exciting game. Last week we brought to Kern County on Time Warner Cable a big stunner in the eyes and minds of many that are football fans. BHS losing to Stockdale. Here the big favorite tonight is West High. It's kickoff time. Being a former high school player, tell me about your heartbeat. Are we ready to go?
Right now it's racing, and it's just like being on NASCAR right now, but after you get hit a couple times, your heartbeat will lower down, you'll start playing some football.
And we're off deep for the Vikings. Number 22, Ed Leach, a dangerous runner. And let me tell you about how dangerous he is. The opening kickoff of this West High School football game. It could be an excellent save by their kicker, Matt Alvarez. But Ryan, right off the top. Well, Vikings show their strength right off the top.
Yeah, Ed Leach is one of their best athletes. He provides speed, quickness, and right here you're going to see him in the open field on a big kickoff return. He's going to do a little stutter step and just can't clear his feet, but he falls after not picking up almost about 70 yards. But he also took a 26-yard touchdown run last week.
Here comes the Vikings, a handoff up the middle to their other running back, Ronald Magsby, who had a big week last week. And before we can even talk about their offense, what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, they're already on the 11-yard line thanks to Ed Leach's big long run. It's 2nd and 10. The game is just underway. The handoff goes up the middle to Ronald Magsby again. And Brian, tell us about Ronald Magsby.
Well, Ronald Magsby's a big physical back, and you see right there, I mean, he's carrying the pile, and then he's really the key in this Veer offense. If he gets going early, this Veer is almost impossible to stop because you got to use 2 players to stop that fullback, and now your quarterback's out on the outside, 2 against 1, and you're going to have big gains on the outside either by the quarterback or the pitchback.
3rd and 2. West High Vikings. The quarterback, Jonathan Wegas, waiting for the sign. They're running out of time. It's 3rd and 2. Wegas drops back, looks in the corner, thinks about it, doesn't do it, then unloads it. It's an errant pass out to the sideline. Just being safe, isn't he? Make sure for sure no interception after that long return.
Yeah, right there. He looked like he had a chance to throw it. He pump fakes it, doesn't have it, stays alive, throws it out of bounds. You don't lose any yardage. Still in good field goal range. And it's 4th down and about 2 or 3 to go. And it looks like they're going to go for it.
4th and 2 on the 9-yard line. Not even a thought from the Viking coaching staff. Rich Cornford, head coach. Not even a thought. Let's go for it. Let's get this thing in the end zone. If not, at least a 1st down. 4th and 2. Wegas in the corner. Pitches off. It's an errant pitch, and it's a fumble. It looks like the Trojans may have capitalized. There's a penalty flag on the play. We have no signal yet from the referee. A 4th and 2. West High decides to go for it. Wegas releases the pitch too late, and it is Foothill ball. So just like that, the Vikings take off on a kickoff. Ed Leach runs it down about the 10-yard line. West runs a few plays. Pretty confident. They go for it 4th and 2. And here we look at the replay, Brian.
And right there, he's going to pitch. Actually, the pitch was just a little too late. If he gets the ball to Ed Leach, let him run in space, picks up the 1st down. Unfortunately, he's hit right in the middle of the pitch. Ball comes out behind Ed Leach. The Trojans fall on it, but they're also hit with an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty after recovering the fumble. So now they're going to be deep in the territory, and you got to give the defense credit. After last week being pounded by the North High Stars on the ground, they sucked it up after a big-time return, and they came away with the victory right there for the defense.
I guess if you say it's a bittersweet moment, sweet better than bitter because they've got the ball, but bitter because all of a sudden their defense, as you say, works hard for Coach Douglas, and then just like that, a penalty, and bittersweet, but let's see what they do. 1st and 10, deep in their own territory. The Foothill offense that struggled last week will take the helm. Dan Engel. Hands off inside, plays it safe. Up the middle, I do not have a number yet. I'll get it to you in just a moment. I believe it was Joseph Espinoza.
And right there, Vance, that's just power football. Your line blast off, you hand the ball to your back. He pushes up there through the line of scrimmage for a 5-yard gain.
Head coach from Foothill High School, Scott Douglas, in his first year comes down geographically from the hill at Bakersfield College down to Foothill High. Knows he has some work ahead of us, but he said he's excited about the transition, looking forward to it. 2nd and 5, right at the 10-minute mark in this first quarter. Foothill High School trying to take advantage of an early fumble recovery. The handoff goes to number 30, Gabriel Bustamante. Bustamante thought he was heading left, turns around, goes right, and picks up a first down. Not a bad play.
And right there, that's just the back having his instincts. He's supposed to go back off tackle. He bounces it off the outside right tackle, goes down the sideline, picks up a first down, and keeps the chains rolling. And that's really important for Foothill to get their running game going, because that allows West High to alter their defense and put pressure to stop it, and brings Dan Engel into the game with his arm.
Engel last week had over 100 yards, and as you say, one of the lone. How many yards did he have?
207.
Sorry, Mr. Engel. 207 yards. My stat man, Mr. Adams, always on me. Hey, you know me, I need it. Let's see if Engel opens up here. 1st and 10. Drops back, and he does. Rolls left. Looks like he might be in trouble. Wow. Josh Stevens and Bo Grigsby come in pretty quickly and take care of business.
Yeah, and that's just the call right there where the defensive coordinator got the best of the offensive coordinator. He has the blitz on. They go through the line. Dan Engel never has a chance right here as he's pulling up. Pressure's too quick. Stevens, who is one of their best players, the leader of that defense, gets half a sack right there.
Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, whenever we talk about rebuilding years, quote-unquote rebuilding years, especially in the sport of football, almost always a big part of that rebuilding is on the line, right?
Well, that's especially where it starts at, because, if you can't block, you can't run, you can't protect pass. And on defense, the same thing. If you can't get pressure at that defensive line, you don't have a chance to play in games.
2nd and 17. Engel drops back, throws a nice 45-yard tight spiral. Just missed by number 3, Michael Valdovinos.
And that's going to probably be his number 1 target. And right there, I would like to see Michael just keep running. If he keeps running, he might be a possibility he can make the catch. But you can see Engel's arm is strong, tight spiral. The ball doesn't wobble. 3rd and 17. This is where a lot of offensive coordinators play a little safe. You see a draw play or some kind of running play just to keep possession, punt it, and play defense.
Assistant coaches for West High School, Wyatt Ross, Mike Lewis, Anthony Saba. Big play for them, 3rd and 17. You want to see this defense do something special? Engel drops back, rolls left. Wow, goodness. Dan Engel just basically bootlegs and comes out strong.
Well, again, it's a conservative play, but they catch him playing man-to-man defense, a 2-man under. Safeties are playing too deep. Everybody else is a man. Nobody can see him running the ball, and before it's too late, the safety has to come up. He gets hurdled, actually, and then the first down is picked up. So great call, conservative call, and caught the defense in a good situation. Check to the offensive coordinator on that play.
Already, Foothill showing improvement 7 days later. 8 1/4 left in this first quarter. 1st and 10 for the Trojans on their own 36-yard line. Dan Engel drops back. A lot of pressure inside. Once again, number 42, Josh Stevens, has him and releases him. Engel drops a bomb off. Look at this, Kern County. He completes it to number 5, Matt Alvarez. Matt Alvarez comes down at the 13-yard line for what I believe is a 50-yard bomb.
That is it. And that's what you get from Engel, the athletic ability. I seen this kid last year, Vance, really put some passes on the Drillers, who had one of the top defenses in the area. And right here, we're going to see the tail end to catch, and good block, and almost
Alvarez
breaks Alvarez away for a touchdown.
When he's watching it come in, it's almost like just stay there, because you see the defense coming at you. Yeah. You just stay there, catch it, don't leave it.
Yeah, that's the one you're wishing the ball hurries up, and it's just moving in slow motion to you.
Molasses ball. Well, what a nice play from Foothill. 1st and 10 on the West High Vikings 13-yard line. Coach Scott Douglas from Foothill has to be pleased with this improvement 1 week later. Engel rolls to the right. A dangerous pass, almost intercepted and should have been intercepted.
Well, I'm going to tell you, he's over there thrown by Pete Pena, and we might as well call him Pick Him Off Pete, because he got 2 last week, and he almost had one right there. You want to stay away from a corner like that. You really don't want to test a guy like that on passes. You're playing against a corner who's good like that. You want to throw sure passes. You don't want to take chances around him.
ESPN has Boomer. I've got Adams. Pick 'em Pena. I like it. What'd you call him?
Pick 'em Pete Pena.
Pick 'em Pete Pena. 2 interceptions and should have really truly been a third one right here in a row. He's got good hands. Could have made it. 2nd and 10. Foothill trying to get inside early here. Engel drops back. Throws behind the receiver, and I believe it was an interception. It looked as if the Foothill receiver never really truly had control of it. Came down, the ball never hit the ground. I thought I saw an interception, but I'm a long ways away.
And they're spotting the ball, so I'm not sure if they're calling it a catch by the Foothill player or they're saying it was incomplete.
Bit of confusion.
Incomplete pass, okay.
They did call it an incomplete pass.
There it is right there.
Here's our replay, Brian. Where's the ball?
And from our angle, it was hard to see if the ball ever hit the ground. It looked like an interception, but that's just from that angle. But
well, Time Warner Cable, fellas, thanks for that shot. We appreciate it. You're on it, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But early, what could have been, and I believe was an interception, did not get called. Hey, that's the breaks of the game. We're going to roll it. 3rd and 10.
Now, fans, West High's taking a big chance with setting these corners up inside for that fade ball.
Engel drops back. He's got pressure all over him. Engel, look out. He goes down. A big loss, and that's going to bring up a big 4th down.
And the reason why it really is a big loss is because now you move it back and you play out of field goal range. He throws the ball away. It's a shorter field goal for your kicker. But right there, it's just the pressure's coming through. Big 74, 68, and there's not enough time to do anything. The only thing you can try to do is just get rid of the ball.
Kyle Benson chased him down. It's 4th and 16 here in the first quarter. Foothill Trojans pretty much did some quick work to get downfield with a long bomb, but all of a sudden they find themselves looking at a 4th and 16. Looks like they will be going for the field goal attempt. Matt Alvarez, who made the long catch, looks for a nice long field goal. It's up, and it is good. Hey. Wow.
And what a difference he said a week makes.
Yeah. Hey, if this game was only 6 minutes long, we'd have our young Woolridge player of the game already. Matt Alvarez with a 50-yard reception and a nice big field goal to give Foothill some progress.
Yeah, jumping out 3-0, you get first blood, and now you put the pressure on West High because they probably came in with the favorite team, and now here you go, you're up 3-0 early in the game. Can you kick it off and get good coverage this time against Ed Leach, and then play defense again and give your offense another chance to put some points on the board?
Good point, Brian. Good point, and it speaks volumes of the patience that the Foothill coaching staff has had to know that right off the bat they get an 80-yard kick return and they stick with it. They hang in there. You got to make those coaches happy. Now we got a lot of football ahead of us, but from a coach's standpoint, they're happy. So let's go. It's 3-0. Foothill is up. A little over 6.5 minutes left in this first quarter. Deep for the Vikings again will be Ed Leach, as Brian mentioned. Also deep is Frank Brooks and Peter Pena. So Matt Alvarez will already logged the most minutes of work so far as kicking off, receiving receptions. Good football game.
And I think that he made the tackle too.
Yeah. We're waiting the placement of the pigskin, and while we're doing that, Brian Adams is having his local heroes return in the announcer's booth every game. I'm privy to the Brian Adams Time Warner Cable Tour. He's a well-respected player, and glad to have you with us, man. It's a pleasure to be working with you.
Well, it's a pleasure to be with you tonight, too, man.
Thanks, brother. Here we go. Alvarez kicks a low burner, wants to keep it out of Leach's hands, and it swirls around, and it's going to be picked up by Cameron Huggins. Cameron Huggins trying to get some work done, goes up the middle. It's a nice little return there, but he's up to about the 37-yard line.
And you see Cameron, he did a good job of staying calm, made sure he secured the ball, then he took off, picked up some positive yards. We're going to see right here, he's going to pick up 12, 14 yards, and again, he gives the West High offense great field position, and watch how quick the West High offense gets to the line. They don't give you much time to substitute players in or give you a chance to really set your defense up.
We've got a bit of a stall here from the referees. Looks at the middle linebacker, has to fix something with his equipment. You're watching Time Warner Cable's high school football game of the week. We like to refer to it as the high school football game of the week because a large portion of our county will be watching us tonight at 10:30 and also tomorrow morning is brought to you by Time Warner Cable on Channel 21, and we have the Young Woolridge player of the game that we will announce at the end of each game. Last week we had our man OJ Ojukwu from Stockdale that really came out, made his presence known, and we look forward to presenting the Young Woolridge player of the game this coming week. Wegas behind center with 6.5 left in the first quarter. 3-0 visiting Trojans lead. Wegas drops back in the pocket. It's tight. He feels rushed. He scrambles. Gets back to about the line of scrimmage, about one more. Not bad for the Foothill defense.
No, and right there they're showing to be aggressive. One thing is that, I think West High is going to settle down, and this team there with a lot of yards on defense last week rushing. You see the pressure come through right here, and he just has nowhere to run. They collapse on him and get a play for a short gain. Is it test that defense against the run, continue to pound because they gave yards last week. Make them step up and stop you.
2nd and 8 on the Trojans 40. Wegas hands off up the middle. Ronald Magsby picks up the first down. He's at the halfway position heading south.
And that's a good example of it right there. They go right back to the run. They pound it with Magsby. He got you 108 last week. He may get you 208 this week. And you just got to keep going to what got you the victory last week, I believe.
Wyatt Ross, longtime Kern County football product. West High School coach for quite a while. Bakersfield College coach. He's proud of his line. Got a couple big linemen up there working it. And as I say that, I hope I didn't jinx him. We might have a fumble here.
No, I think they're calling the ball on the ground already. West High still has it.
So somewhat of a nothing play for the Vikings. Don't want to take away from what I was mentioning of Wyatt Ross. Well-respected and appreciated football mentor and teacher in the county. Thanks, Wyatt. 2nd and 11. Coming up on 5 minutes left in this first quarter. If you're just flicking over to our channel, appreciate having you here. It's the Trojans up by 3 over the Vikings. Wegas drops back, throws off to the right side. Oh, goodness. He gets a good block, and it looks like it could be. It is. It's 6.
And I'll tell you, man.
Randy Turner busts one loose.
Well, Randy Turner is right there. You see his speed and his agility. And what really sprung Randy Turner was the block. And Pick'em P threw a nice block, too. So I don't know what we're going to call him, Vance. But he threw a block to spring Randy Turner, and Randy did the rest. A nice little head and shoulders move on the defensive back, froze him, and then used his speed to take off and score the touchdown.
Well, it's not as if I was speechless, but I was looking at my program, and there's no number 23 in the program, so here I am lost as Randy Turner goes for a TD. The extra point is good. It ties us up at, puts us at 7-3 West, and sorry about that, Kern County. Number 23, Randy Turner, busts open, gets a great block, and off he goes.
Yeah, and right here, this is going to throw a flare out to Randy Turner, but you'll see come in here, it's going to be a beautiful block. Spring him if we can see it. You see the guy on the ground. Peter Pena hits him. And right there, Randy Turner makes a nice cutback. And here is just off to the races. Touchdown, as you see. We have.
Got it.
We have.
Hey, Kern County, if you want to know what's happening to us.
Coach Lewis now, who's also the offensive coordinator, called that play for a touchdown. Is in here straightening out our little roster here and letting us know that Randy Turner is not number 4. He's 23.
Okay, got it. Kern County, for just a moment there, we had a couple.
And leave it to a Bruin to have to fix it for me.
If you could have been in our booth right now, here I am, and I'll give you my name so you can blame it on me. I'm Vance Paul. I'm trying to call a touchdown, and I'm looking for number 23 in our program, and I can't find it, so I just say there he goes. Well, the gentleman that called that play, assistant coach Mike Lewis up here, was kind enough to come over and change up our program for us. We're set for the next minute maybe. Randy Turner busts one open, and Brian, thanks for trying to cover for me. All of a sudden, it's 7-3 Vikings, and just like that, we see that potent, powerful, talented offense. And here's our first kick return for the Trojans. Let's see what happens.
And there's Coach Ross in your picture.
Big Wyatt, got to be happy with the execution part of that play.
Oh yeah, and that's just like a run. You throw a flare out to your back, you get a physical receiver like Petey. He makes a huge block, and then it's off to the races. 6 points Vikings.
Pete Pena, 6 foot, 175-pound senior, playing an important, integral part of this team so far. And now he's back on the sidelines passing balls. Maybe we'll see him toss one up
I don't know, but, for you young receivers out there who are coming up to junior high, freshman, JV, it's more the game than catching passes, and that's a part of the game that a lot of receivers don't want to do, but that's what makes you a great player.
The big fella, Hector Campos, kicks a nice big long kick to the Foothill Trojans, and it's picked up. Ran pretty well by Davion Golden. And we're just under 5 minutes left in this first quarter. Vikings of West High lead by 4 points, 7-3. Brian, a lot of stories here tonight. We've got the quarterback for the Vikings, Jonathan Wegas, nephew of current athletic director at Bakersfield College, Jan Stubbe, Shafter High School football and basketball legend in baseball, played at Bakersfield College. So, as always, the football lineage in Kern County runs deep.
Yeah, it does. And, Jan Stone is a head coach from the JV team or the Frost-Off team. I'm not sure, but I'll find out for you. Jake. And so there's a lot of family affair out here tonight.
Well, a sordid affair taking place down on the line of scrimmage for Foothill. Not really getting the count correctly. So we'll back it up 5 yards and make it 1st and 15.
That's what we have, just moving a little too early.
You're watching the high school football game of the week exclusively on Time Warner Cable. It's 1st and 15 for the Trojans.
Too many men on the field.
And we're going to have another penalty, but first let's get this play off. What do you have for us? Too many men on the field for the Vikings?
Yeah, they were doing a late substitution, and the lineman just didn't get off in time, and the ball was snapped, and you got too many players on the field. Can't play with 12, only play with 11. It's not Canadian football.
Back to 1st and 10. Or how many yards is it? Too many men on the field, Brian?
That's a good question. So I won't even act like I know the answer to that one.
Kern County, we've got a full slate of football this entire season. For the 2002 football year, we want you to tune in every single week on Channel 21 and watch us. Brian and I having a blast with all the crew from Time Warner Cable. Got some great sponsors. We'll get to those in just a few moments. Obviously, we'd like to thank Young Woolridge for stepping up as one of our major sponsors for the player of the game, and we'll be excited to bring that player of the game to you. Here we go, 1st and 10 from what is now their line of scrimmage, the 25-yard line.
The original line of scrimmage, and I have the answer for you now.
You're back?
It's 5 yards.
So after much ado and not having a clue, we come to the point that it's only a 5-yard play. 1st and 10, here we go. Just under 5 minutes left in this first quarter. 7-3 Vikings lead. Behind center for the Trojans, Dan Engel. He's done a pretty good job so far, but he's felt pressure the entire first quarter. He feels it again, breaks loose, and gets somewhat of a decent block out there by Matt Alvarez, but quick coverage by that Viking defense.
I tell you, Engel's showing me a lot that he can beat you with his legs as well. I mean, he's running pretty well right here. He's looking for his receivers. He has nobody open. He's going to scramble out here, and he's going to pick up a good 5-6 yards himself and make it 2nd and 4. And he's a tough kid, too. I mean, he's not looking to slide or get out of bounds. He's standing in the thick of things and taking a little plastic.
So, in essence, the Foothill offense is not truly sputtering for the first quarter. They're doing fine.
No, they're moving the ball around. They just had a little stall in the red zone, but other than that, they've done a good job so far tonight. 2nd
and 4. Engel rolls right. He likes rolling right. Got a long ball. It's open. He's wide open. Oh, goodness. Maybe just a hair, but I bet you 9 out of 10 times in practice he pulls that one down.
Oh, yeah.
That was Michael Valdivinas.
Yeah, right there. He did a good job of running through and trying to make the play right here. See Engel rolling to his right.
What a toss.
And look at this toss. I mean, it's just right on the money, just a little out there and right off the fingertips. And, I know he like to have that one back, and I'm pretty sure we'll see him make a catch like that before the night's over.
Yeah, if it goes in there again next play, he'll catch that one. 3rd and 4. Trojans in need of another big first down, just like they had a couple previous series ago. Nice crowd here tonight from West High side. Engel drops back. A little bit of a draw. Doesn't fool anybody, but he's a hair short. I don't believe he has it. Interesting call here.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting spot, too, because, from right here, that might be close.
They've stopped the clock to get this measurement. That gives us a chance to tell you about our exciting time last week. Stockdale Bakersfield High School. It was opening game for us, opening game for Coach Jason Oliver and the Drillers. A real difficult loss and played well. They've got an exciting game for them tonight also. And then the Stockdale has to be feeling good about their first breakout week. And then next week, we'll be covering the Ridgeview team at South High. We'll be over at the Rebels area.
You know, we're talking, and he did pick it up.
What a spot.
So 2 times, you know, third and a little way, about 4 yards ago on that one, and third in the previous, third and about 17 on the previous series. We see Engel keep the ball himself and pick up the first down.
And that's a big momentum, kind of a continuation. You know, if they lose that, they've got to punt it. You never know. They could get down quickly, 14-3. So a nice spot and a good play for the Trojans. Brings up 1st and 10. The clock's rolling again. Just over 3 minutes left in this first quarter. Trojans scored first on a field goal. Quickly, the Vikings come back and score, and that's what gives us our 7-3 score. Engel drops straight back. Again, under pressure. Can he get it off? Rolls right, throws low, incomplete. Intended out there for number 88.
Man, I'm going to tell you,
Huntsman.
Adam Bailey is just blowing through the line of the defensive lineman. I mean, he's taking a couple of steps, and he's just blowing the fullback lineman. Doesn't matter who it is, and that's why Dan doesn't have a lot of time right now to throw the ball. If they can figure out a way to block him and slow his rush down, slow the pressure down, I think England will have enough time to throw the ball and throw some strikes, actually.
Every time he drops back, he's on the run.
Yeah, so you know, and that's when you have a young, inexperienced line. You know, they're gonna have to go through these growing pains.
You know what it's like when you're playing at the park with all your buddies, and you get the minute the ball snapped, you're on the run. You know. Engel hands off up the middle, nowhere. Could have even lost a yard.
Yeah, I mean, and you can see the surge that defensive line. They're really coming quick. That might be a chance, you know, later in the game, or in a little while we'll see a little screen play. You use their aggression against them. They rush in, you dump it behind them. Then you see if you can get in space and get your back out and make some plays.
That was Gabriel Bustamante on the run. Brings up 3rd and 10. So just like that, they've gone nowhere after their first down that they had. And we're coming up in 2.5 minutes in the first quarter. Another important 3rd down attempt. Engel gives it a look. Watts back, tons of pressure. And he's down. John Guevara, 6'4", 240-pound junior, brings a load.
He brings a load, and he brings it quick. You know, you look at John Guevara coming through. I mean, they're just taking turns. I mean, Big John and Adam, I mean, they're just going at it. You know, one fires through this time, they switch spots, the other one fires through. So Phil's going to have to definitely game plan on the sideline and figure out what they're going to do to stop that pressure. Because when it's just your defensive tackles doing that, it could be a long night for your quarterback.
First punt for Foothill, 4th and 14.
It looks like it's Frank Brooks back to receive it.
He just gets it off. Let's see if Brooks can take this bounce and move with it. Picks it up at the 40-yard line. Looks like he's got some room. There's a flag on the play. Here comes a reverse in direction. Frank Brooks gets outside and is pulled down by Gabriel Bustamante.
It was a nice return by Brooks, but unfortunately that's going to be coming back the other way.
What do you have, Ref Adams?
I thought I saw one holding on one player and then maybe a block in the back by another player, but I know I saw one holding for sure. Now, whether they caught it or not, I don't know, but I know it's going back. I can tell you that much.
I trust you. Either way, it is the Vikings' ball. It'll be 1st and 10 from a spot that we will find out in just a moment. We're near the end of the first quarter with 1:21 left.
They called, they called 2 holdings, so there were 2 separate occasions. So
not a bad run back.
No.
Looks like our flag.
You got one right there, and that and then there's another guy that was already tackled. Another flag was thrown earlier, but I did see one holding, and I thought that was a block in the back, but they called it holding, same difference.
Hey, when in doubt, just ask the guys in the truck to give us the shots they always have, and
we'll be okay.
When in doubt, go to the truck. Thanks, fellas. Here we go, 1st and 10. As you say, West High is ready to roll always. That ball is ready to get snapped the minute they get the go-ahead. Quarterback for the Vikings, Jonathan Wegas, 6 foot, 165-pound senior. Well poised. You can tell he's just got the game. Throws over to the right side. Looks like Kashif Castile. Castile, you got to love that name, Kashif Castile. That just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Yeah, and Kashif right there, one-on-one, trying to make a guy miss. He doesn't make a miss, but he picks up about 6 or 7 yards before he gets tattooed to the ground there, as we'll see him come up right here. He just one-on-one in space. Good job by the defensive back. Almost got beat, lunged out, and right there, linebacker finishes him off.
Goodness. 2nd and 4, just under a minute. The Vikings offensive squad at times looks great, at times not really that dominating against that young Foothill line that seems to be stepping up this week.
Yeah, right there, that's Ed Leach just making something out of nothing, because he was hitting the backfield 3 or 4 yards in the backfield, and he still manages to pick up almost 2 or 3 yards. And they're coming out for a measurement, so he might have picked up the first down.
You're watching the high school football game of the week, brought to you exclusively by Time Warner Cable Channel 21. I'd like to thank our very, very generous sponsors that help get this on the air. Young Woolridge, KERN 1410, and The House, Jesus Shack. For a copy of tonight's game, call Time Warner Cable at 322-1941. Last week, they broke records. Stockdale BHS, first ever meeting. Stockdale pulls out a squeaker. Didn't even have enough on the shelf. So call Time Warner Cable, especially you West High families and Foothill families. A great keepsake. The band, under the direction of Dr. Stephen Metler, longtime Arvin product, one of the most respected musicians in town, now running this West High band, who for many years was just dominant under Mike Bone's direction, who's now back out at Arvin. High school trivia everywhere. Half a minute left, 7-3 in the first quarter. Wegas drops back, gets it out to Leach. Leach changes direction, heads up, and gets another first down. Impressive play. We're coming down to the end of the first quarter.
And you see right there the athletic ability of Leach, to catch the ball, stop on a dime, change direction, pick up a first down. And again, you watch the West High Vikings, they're ready to move. So the Foothill defense has to definitely get their wind back and get ready to play again.
For you armchair quarterbacks, it's the equivalent of the 2-minute offense, but basically it's the entire game. And these young kids in such great shape and great communication with the coaches really don't need a huddle. 7-3 is the score. We're coming into the first quarter. You're watching exclusive football brought to you by Time Warner Cable, high school game of the week. Thank you, sponsors. Young Woolridge, Kern 1410, and the Jesus Shack. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Vance Ball and Brian Adams.
Some things can't be built in a day. Things like honesty, dedication, good hard work, and integrity. Since 1939, the law offices of Young Woolridge has had one of the strongest personal injury teams in the entire Central Valley. Today, that team is stronger than ever before. Through the years, our attorneys have won some of the highest dollar personal injury verdicts in Kern County. Put our experience to work for you. The law offices of Young Woolridge. Integrity you can trust.
101.5 KGFM, your station for continuous soft rock favorites. Listen at work.
This kiss.
Listen at home. Listen in the car. The artists you know, the songs you love. 101.5 KGFM.
Foothill High School taking on the West High Vikings on their turf. Second quarter action, the first play of the second quarter. West High Vikings. Wegas drops back, dumps it off to number 3, Kashif Castile. Kashif Castile battling for more yards, picks up another first down. And if you're just joining us, just turning over, 7-3, the Vikings lead by 4, just starting out the second quarter. Brian, real good first half for both teams for a lot of reasons.
Oh, yeah, one, if you're a Foothill fan, you're in the game. You're still, it's first quarter, you're in the game, you're ready to play. If you're West High, you didn't take advantage of a big return, but you're ahead in the game, and you're driving right now. And, obviously, offensive coordinator Mike Lewis sees him. He keeps hitting that quick receiver, quick one-step past the receiver one-on-one.
Wegas drops back, just underthrows Emmanuel Gomez. And second week, sometimes, even though he's got all the protection in the world, mechanics might not be there. but he's okay.
Yeah, he's all right. You know, he threw a short pass and got a touchdown, so he's going to be looking okay. Right there, they just run a hook route, and receiver DB wasn't really that close, and Foothill dodged the bullet.
Wegas gets the pitch off in time. Chris Peterson didn't get much, gets brought down by a Foothill defense who last week, Brian, had an education, if you will, and in a lot of ways as far as really being prepared mentally and physically for the beginning of the year. Boom, here it is.
And they played a solid ball club in North High Stars
Sure
under Coach Snow, that program's progressed each year that I've been out here. And, you know, they like to run the ball, and they smash it, and that's what they did. And, you know, the Foothill players, you got to give them credit, they're responding.
3rd and 13, big play. Wegas drops back. Oh! Catchable, not catchable, that'll be debatable, but what is not debatable is it was not completed. And all of a sudden you thought the Vikings were going to march in, and now it's 4th and 13.
You see right there, it's just right off the hands, hits the face mask, and a lot of times when it bounces up like that, that's big trouble. But, you know, they dodged the bullet on the ball not being intercepted, and see right here, they're looking at 4th down. You got the coach trying to get timeout, and he finally gets it.
So Rick Cornford, head coach at West High, was looking for a timeout. Finally
Foothill
got
coach,
it.
I'm sorry, man. Foothill coach.
Oh, it's a Foothill High School
Foothill
timeout.
High School. They were looking to get a timeout, and they got it.
I was watching the West High coach, and I truly believe I thought I saw him calling one.
Well, they were both trying to call one, possibly.
Well, that's a sign that this is a big play. If both sidelines are calling for a timeout, just into the second quarter, it's 7-3 Vikings lead, 4th and 13. Pretty important play. And while we have this break, let's talk about next week's game, Ridgeview at South. When I was growing up, going to Arvin High, it's, you know, when we played against South High, because there was no Ridgeview, when we played at South High, you know, big names, Brian Williams and Greg McGill and all these South High Rebels that we were always just like, wow, get ready for a great game. Now there's, you know, it's a different era. There's more schools in this. What do you know about South? What do you know about Ridgeview? Are you up to date, and what's happening there?
Both those programs, you know, have been hit hard because of the districts and the open enrollment, and so they're trying to get their programs back into condition. And you know, South High placed 4th, and you also had a Ridgeview who didn't perform the way they wanted to last year, but they showed improvement alone in the first game last week, coming back against West. So that'll be an interesting matchup with those two teams.
Thank you, Brian. 4th and 13. Here's the big play of the second quarter. Wegas drops back. He's looking left, and he's got a reception complete, and it looks like it's going to be more. Excellent. Emmanuel Gomez hauls in a 4th and 13 pass and walks in basically after a missed tackle. So we're looking good here. Here's the Vikings.
Yeah, you know, right there, that's just a simple outplay. That's just a simple outplay, and it's, you know, and it ends up being a touchdown. 4th down, and 13 or 14 ends up being a touchdown. Castaneda does a good job of catching it out, turning upfield, knifes upfield, gets a touchdown.
The big fella, Hector Campos, is on to get the extra point, and it is nicked, and it does not go in.
It was blocked. It was blocked. You see where the ball came off? It was blocked, and it was special teams, man, last week that really let Ridgeview get back into the game against West High. They had the fake punt, an onside kick, and another fake punt. So, you know, if there is an Achilles heel, maybe for this West High team early, it might be their special teams.
My apologies to the family of Aniceto Castaneda. He's the guy that scored that touchdown. Aniceto Castaneda, great reception. Had some arms around his waist, didn't think about it, just kept running.
Just kept running and picked up a touchdown.
So here's West High coaching staff on the sidelines, getting in his guy's face, out on the field, saying, all right, here we go. We're up 10. Let's put it to the floor now.
And here it is right here. You're going to see the out route, runs a good route, catches it, and then just runs through the tackle. And it's 6 points. 13-3 West High.
Castaneda, sophomore. A couple more years here under the Viking programs. Got to love having a TD second week of the season.
You know, and I mean, that's a big play. You're a sophomore, and second game of the year, you're scoring touchdowns. I mean, doesn't get much bigger than that.
10:50 left in the second quarter. You're watching Time Warner Cable's exclusive coverage of the high school game of the week. I'm Vance Palm alongside Brian Adams and an excellent crew from Time Warner Cable that comes out every Friday night and gives this to the community. And I say give in every word. It's a public service that they love to do for the community, so the families and friends and the football fans in this community are able to watch some top-notch high school football. Now, we seem to have lost power on our scoreboard, so we maybe have to go kind of on Brian's watch. Brian, if you want to let the referees know what you've got on your watch.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, we're going to have some fast quarters.
Always true and always correct, Brian Adams. So we do have a stoppage of play. Brian, let's talk about our coaching staff for the Vikings. We will talk about the Foothill guys in just a moment, but if you look at Rick Cornford, comes to us out of the Lompoc area. He's a California native, been here, I think 4 or 5 years now. And when you take over a program like West High, let's talk about the history of West High. You know, like there's Wyatt Ross, for instance, and when you talk about the history of West High, you have, like when I was going to high school, Dallas Grider coaching that team. Kevin Sneed was on the program. Brent Dameron's on the program. So many great coaches that make the history at West High what it is. Your playing experience when you were a driller at BHS, you went against the Vikings. Tell us about your experiences going against West High.
Well, my experience when I came to BHS and my first varsity season was 1988. And before that, West High was the dominant team in the Valley. BHS had not won a championship since the 70s in a section championship, so that was our main rival. One of the things that I think that Cornford has to do, or anybody taking on this Viking, is rely on that history. Go back to that history and show these players where they come from, because they haven't had the great seasons over the past few years. So you want to, evoke those ghosts per se to get that spirit in your team, because that's pretty much what Coach Preston did with us at BHS. We had been losing and people were laughing. And matter of fact, my sophomore year when James Allison, Lance Gary, and those guys were on varsity, they got beat by Arvin in the rain, and we were the laughing stock of the SYL.
God love the Bears.
Yeah, I know you do. So what Coach Preston really did is, in our locker room, he put pictures of old teams, championship teams, and he started to instill that spirit of what we were.
Right.
And as players, we started to believe that we could be that again. And since '88, the Drillers have been the dominant team in the section.
The West High Vikings, great athletes have played on this squad. I remember when I was in high school, Jim Maples, his brother Randy Maples, Dennis Manning, who coached with the Blitz. Just a lot of history at West High School. I remember that when I was a freshman in high school, I was an Arvin High skinny little kid on the goal line at halftime, right at the end of the first half. West High Arvin, a legendary game. The Arvin High Bears had Willie Reneville, Mike Duncan, Danny Tarver, Kevin Young, Jeff Showers, big Arvin program, and they held West at the goal line on Griffith Field. And I remember thinking that was the equivalent of my high school kid freshman. That was equivalent of like one of the greatest games of all time. So West High definitely has the history. And I'll tell you what, talk about history. The second quarter is making history because we have no power on the scoreboard. So we're going to go to break in just a moment. You're watching Time Warner Cable exclusively on Channel 21. Back in a moment.
The media has become a staple in our everyday lives, whether it's a song, an advertisement, or even a news story.
Everywhere you turn, there's a message in one form or another.
Do you realize how much media your child is exposed to every day?
And everything your child sees and witnesses affects them.
It's time to take action and become involved in what messages your child comes in contact with.
Filter out the negativity and let these messages be positive.
It's up to us to shape their future. Let it be a happy one.
We're back, and we're going with just the old-fashioned watch on the wrist, the referees on the field, and with the assistance of my partner in time, Brian Adams, we're going to give you this, believe it or not, without the scoreboard. Oh, can you believe it?
This has to be a first in our broadcasting experience here.
So what's the score? It's 13-3. Vikings lead by 10. Trojans ready to receive the ball. We're just into the second quarter. We have about 10 minutes, 50 seconds left in the second quarter. So here we go. Up 10, the Vikings look to kick it deep. Hector Campos lets it fly, and it's not that deep. It's going to be taken at about the 22-yard line, which looks like number. He got swallowed up so quickly, I never really saw his number.
Yeah, that just like a pack of bees just swarming on him right there.
Hector Campos had that kick up there high enough to where he just kind of got hammered. It looks as if our runner, our receiver, was Robert Huntsman, number 88.
And Hector's getting up, he kicks the ball off and makes the tackle.
At the high school level, is it not true that, a lot of guys play a lot of different things, do a lot of different things, and when you get to the highest level of sports, you have one position, one job, that's it,
Unless you're Deion Sanders, then you just pretty much play where you want to play.
1st and 10 on the 30-yard line. Foothill Trojans have 7 yards to go to get the game all tied up. Oh, it's a nice rollout by Engel. Engel drops it off to a nice, hefty, strong running back. Is that Jesus Fuentes? It is. Jesus Fuentes, nice little grab and gets a first down and takes a couple good pops.
What I like about that call is, you're getting pressure, you roll the quarterback out as a quick hit. See, he throws the ball before the pressure from Josh Stevens can come in. You get to your back in the flats, and right there, that's what fullback's supposed to do. Just lower the shoulder and pound those defensive backs. You got to make that defensive back not even want to think about coming up and tackle you.
Nice first down. Trojans start again. 1st and 10 on the 40-yard line. Spread out wide for the Trojans. Number 5, Matt Alvarez. Number 3, Michael Valdivinas. Engel drops back again. No protection, and he goes down quickly again by Chris Peterson. 5'9", 165-pound junior has a beeline on him and makes it happen.
Yeah, you're talking about, they're just bringing people now, and so you're talking about secondary players coming in here and blitzing. You already didn't have time with the front 7. You have to get some quicker hitting passes off. You don't have time for your receivers to go down and try to get deep. Hit the quick hitters and try to alleviate some pressure, because those are as good as 5-yard runs. If you can get 5 yards a pass, you're still moving the chains and you get first downs. And you avoid these second downs and 20s or 24s, however far back they are at this point.
Second and long, shall we say. Just under 10 minutes left in the first half. Trojans down by 10. Engel hands the ball off to number 24, Vincent Morales. And I will say this, head coach Scott Douglas using everybody on offense. The ball's touched a lot of people's hands so far.
And that's a sign that they have potential to be a really good offense. Because good offense, the ball goes all over the field. If you watch any good offensive coordinator, he doesn't want the ball to go to one receiver 20 times. He may have a guy that gets a 12, but he's going to have other guys 8, 6, 4, 3 rushing the ball. You want different people to touch the ball, because then defense can't hone in on your attack.
And Dan Engel only being a junior, they've got some good things to look forward to. Referee's blowing the whistle.
Timeout for the Trojans.
That is true. Let's talk about this Trojan coaching staff for a moment, since they called the timeout. Let's talk about Foothill High School in general. They're coming back. Ned Permenter, the longtime quote-unquote dean of high school coaching, steps aside last year. Talk about some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, I think they couldn't have picked a better guy than Scott Douglas. Here's a guy has the fundamentals. He's been at BC, understands football, and he would be able to teach these young kids how to play the game correctly. Taking the right steps. And I think that's what they're going to have to do is just go through the building process, and there's going to be some bumps along the way, but if you get those fundamentals, it will give you an advantage later in the season and sets up things for next year when you have a lot of juniors playing for you.
Well, having just seen what we saw on the monitor with Scott Douglas, head coach, kind of getting on his quarterback after a nice timeout meeting, you wonder if the message got through. 3rd and 16, another big third down play for the Trojans, just under 9 minutes left in this first half. They're down 10, and they'd like to at least get 7 before this clock finishes. Quarterback draw. Engel looks good. Gets about, I would say, 10 to 12 yards. Got nice footwork and one more tackle break, and he gets a first down.
And that's what they've been doing. On 3rd and long, they've been running some kind of quarterback keeper or draw play. And the reason why it's open is because West High is coming into a 2-man under defense. And that's just a good first down saving tackle right there. And I think that's Ed Leach who plays running back. But that's just a good play by the safety, but also, if they're going to go to that 2-man under defense, once you break through that initial line of scrimmage fence, there's nobody to tackle you but the safety.
It's 4th and 4. Foothill shows punt, and they do. A high snap, and it gets past Matt Alvarez. What's going to happen? Matt picks it up, and he's in trouble, and he's down at the 15-yard line. So, ironically, head coach Douglas decides not to go for it, decides to punt, and would have been closer had he just gone up the middle, but you never know that it's going to be a long punt. Unfortunate.
Well, right there, yeah, you can't count on a bad snap right there. It's over the punter's head. He feels the best he can and ends up falling on it and gives West High excellent field position.
Tough luck for the Trojans all of a sudden.
On a play like that, I've seen punters grab the ball because you're so close to the end zone and run all the way in for a safety and only give it 2 points.
And this early in the quarter, not a bad idea since there's a lot of time here. 8:19 left in the first half. West High capitalizing on a deep snap that went too deep. All of a sudden it's 1st and 10, and they're looking to go in. But it won't be on this down. Wegas on a keeper, and he can keep it.
Yeah. And anytime you're going against a veer-type offense, Vance, you want your defensive lineman to get penetration. When they're able to get penetration and bust through the line, it really disrupts the flow of your offense in terms of trying to get your pitch relations and hand off to the fullback right there. Because of the penetration, they're tackling both players at the same time, your quarterback and your fullback.
Well, they sent in 4 substitutions on the West High team, two ball handlers and 2 linemen, so maybe the coach is here trying to make a quick little change for the 2nd and 12. Wegas drops back, lets it go. A missed route by Leach, or miscommunication, either one, well over Leach's head.
Well, that's the second time they've run that play. One was a mishandled pass and ended up being incomplete, and that one was just thrown to an empty space. And they were really lucky that they had no air on it because it could have been an interception, as we have a timeout by West High.
So it's 3rd and 12. West High takes a timeout with 7.5 left in the first half. 13-3, they're up 10. Brian, let's talk about Mike Lewis, assistant coach for the West High Vikings. What an arm. We saw him out here warming up with these receivers, just dropping 45ers right in their lap. Yeah. You know him well.
Yeah, and he was a great player in his own time when he was at Garces. Quarterback, led them to some CIF section titles. Also a great baseball player. One of my fellow UCLA alums. He went there. He was a baseball player when I was there, and then also played some minor league ball.
Yeah, I was trying to do a telecast up here and had to break up all this Bruin love so we could go on the air.
Yeah, well, we're here now, but he's taken over the offense, and he and Jeff Evans put together a weight program, and I think that's also helped to the play of the West High Vikings so far, is getting in that weight room and developing their bodies.
Well, let's see what the Viking staff has in store for us. 3rd and 12. On cue, they're on the stage. It's up the middle to the big fella, Ronald Magsby, and he continues to battle.
And he fumbled it.
Oh, no. Is it official?
Yes, it is.
Goodness.
Ball's on the ground right there, and this Foothill defense took a lot of punishment last week, but you have to give them some credit. 2 times in just prime position for the West High Vikings. They come up with a 4th down stop, and now on 3rd down, Vince, they create a fumble and recover it, and give the offense another chance to stay in the game.
I believe that was Anthony Sircone. I hope I'm announcing that correctly. Anthony Sircone, number 60.
And right there, the ball pops out.
Wow, what a play. He's quick, he's ready, and another big play for the Trojans. 7.5 left in this first half. They've got a long way to go to get to pay dirt, but if they get there, they'll only be down by a few at the end of this half. Engel drops back again, lets it fly. Oh, goodness, had a man wide open, just underthrew him, and that was 6.
Yeah, it was. I mean, if that ball just gets up just a little bit, our kicker, receiver extraordinaire, Matt Alvarez, has what we would look at about a 90-yard touchdown there.
7:27 left in this first half. Another exciting football game brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Boy, it's fun doing these games. You come out here on Friday evenings, and I spend all day at work. All my co-workers over at Townsend Design always saying, hey, who's playing tonight? What's going on? What's happening? What's this? And I'm excited to say that, Foothill West, good ball game tonight. 2nd and 10. Engel drops back, has room, tries to go off his blockers, makes a good move, and I believe another 1st down. Looks nice.
See, And I'll tell you right there, they are catching West High in a man-to-man defense, press coverage. The receivers doing a good job of releasing outside. As they release outside, the defensive backs cannot see. As you see right there, number 10's back's turned, but there's nobody here to tackle him until he's 10 yards downfield.
He's got great vision, huh?
Yeah, he does.
I mean, you expect that in the pocket and behind the center, but when they get outside and they're scrambling for their so-called, booty, the vision counts. 1st and 10, 7 minutes left in this first half. Foothill Trojans methodically trying to march down this field behind the leadership of their junior quarterback, Dan Ingles. Done a nice job. Takes 2 steps, now 4 steps. Rifles one off again. It's going deep, overthrown, and once again, tough break. Michael Valvandinas does not come up with it. And that'll bring up a 2nd down.
Well, that's a situation right there where Pick and Pete, he's already ready to run out and cover that 3rd and plus. I don't think they have any receivers that can actually run by him. You're playing right into his strength right there. However, you take a chance, see what happens. 2nd 10, you come back, pick up some positive yardage, and give yourself a good chance on 3rd down to pick up a 1st down.
West High Viking defense, stellar job so far in a lot of respects. They've let a few things get away, but here's a big 2nd and 10 play. I'm sure they're going to come heavy, and they do. And it happens just as we thought. Big fella gets through first, Josh Stevens, and everybody else kind of cleans up the mess.
See, that's what I like to see, a screen play right there. Let those big guys run through like that, dump it over their heads, give your back a chance to run with some blockers in front of them downfield on a couple linebackers and secondary players.
We have Raider fans in the stands waiting for Sunday night's game against the Steelers. What a first NFL week, huh? Big David Carr. I think we gave him the Time Warner Cable blessing by having Stockdale that first game of the week. We spoke so highly of him getting ready 48 hours away. And what does he do? He comes out, Chris Palmer, great job letting him throw right off the bat, David Carr.
Right. Now, who are they playing this weekend, the Texans?
Well, they're playing the Chargers, and it's going to be a heavy Southern Cal trip. Here we go. 3rd and 10, huge play. Ingle drops back, throws it exactly where it needs to be, right on the scrimmage line marker, and it looks like he got another 1st down, Brian.
And I like that. It's not a deep route. It's only a 10-yard out. Alvarez runs a nice out pattern.
Can't question this guy's arm, can you?
He's going to his left. This is a tough, but look how he sets up.
Looks
and now
good.
He just throws it out there. It's just pitch and catch at that point. 1st down Trojans.
Well, Matt Alvarez knew exactly where he needed to be. Veteran plays. So it's 1st and 10. Oh, I'm sorry. We've got a penalty, folks. Didn't see the flag. I don't know if you did, Brian.
I didn't either.
Personal foul on the Trojans, and I'm sorry, but I never saw a flag. Didn't know there was a penalty until right this second. And they're marching it back. Here comes our call again. Personal
foul against Foothill.
The only thing I can think of is if there was any type of monkey business going on around the line, and it was a late call.
Well, either way, they got a 1st down and move back 10 yards, so it's like having 1st and 10 from the same spot over again.
Cameron Huggins of the West High Viking squad comes out limping. We'll get a word on him, hopefully. So it's 1st and 10.
Got it.
Ingle drops back, throws it off to the big fellow, tight end. He drops the ball. Is it complete? It is, and it is a fumble. Oh, tough break. Jesus Fuentes caught a beautiful soft touch from Ingle, took off down the sidelines, and I believe he had possession. We'll find out. Time Warner Cable,
right there. That's just a fumble.
Shot.
That's just a fumble right there, and it's a good heads-up play. And Vance, we saw it last week. You commit a personal foul, then it just seems like the bad momentum just rolls out all of a sudden on you.
The vibration.
You got to start getting these personal fouls out of the way. And there's assistant principal Bob Hayes, who played at Nebraska and then a local product himself.
1st and 10. We'll be back to the local who knows who in just a moment. But first of all, the nice 1st and 10 down, 1st and 10 play. Anicito Castaneda, who caught a TD pass just a while back, caught a nice kneeler there from Wegas. And, as we were speaking about Mr. Hayes down there, we also had a chance to talk with Rich Ross, who's the Dean of Students. That is, what's Richard's title here at West High? I believe he's the campus supervisor for West High School, a long time hero of Cal State basketball lore. We're loaded with talent.
And the head basketball coach.
Right, of course. Sorry, Double R. Head basketball coach for the Vikings. Wegas. We got a flag on the play. Looks as if we may have holding. Wegas confused for a moment, didn't get the handoff, tried to scramble, didn't get much.
There it is, yep. Then you couple that in with the penalty.
So if this penalty is against the Vikings, as it looks as it is, somewhat of a stagnant few moments here for the Vikings, hoping to capitalize on a few things and haven't been able to do it.
No, so far they've had great field position twice and haven't been able to put any kind of points on the board. And you made the call on that one, good call, holding, and then moving back 10 yards. So
Vikings 13, Trojans 3. Some old school football here. Old SYL, 13-3, Vikings lead. It's 2nd and 15 for the Vikings. The quarterback is Jonathan Wegas, a talented senior, good bloodline, nephew of Jan Stubbe of Shafter Lore. 2nd and 15, in motion is Leach. Here comes the play. It's executed well, but Foothill stays at home and makes the tackle.
And that's just good disciplined defense right there on that right side. They stay at home. They don't go for all the misdirection. They wait for the counter, and they snuff it out.
Nice play. That brings up what I believe to be his 3rd and 15 or 14, right around there. And it'll be nice to see what they call here.
Well, you got to remember last time it was 4th and 15. They threw it out and scored a touchdown.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's see what they try to do. I got a feeling they probably won't punt even if they don't get the first down.
I agree. A little over 4 minutes left. Kind of important play for the momentum of the Vikings right now.
Movement on the Vikings. 5 more yards back.
Obviously, Brian, it's no secret frustration sets in at this level. You don't capitalize on a few things. You make a couple good plays, then you get backed up again. Then it's 3rd and 15. You've got a big play called. You've got everybody psyched up, ready to go. Doggone it, a second weak mistake on the count, and now it's 3rd and awfully long, 3rd and 20 probably.
Anytime you're in this kind of, it's a tough play for any kind of running team, a veer, option type team, to get 3rd and 20-something, 19, 20 yards. So
Peter Pena spread left. 3 in the backfield along with Wegas. Wegas drops back straight, looks. He's going to launch it up left. It's going to be Pena. Oh, and it's a beautiful, beautiful grab. Hey, Kern County, you're watching big-time football there. A great call, a great pass, a great catch. And I guess that's why they deserve a really, really big first down.
Well, I'll tell you this kid Peter Pena is definitely one of the better players we've seen in his first 2 weeks. But watch him go up and stay with the ball. Eyes never leave the ball. Catches the ball right there.
Boy, that's a great shot.
And great footwork. And a lot of players, you see a lot of players in this stage, they don't follow the ball the way in. They drop it right there. He hangs in with it, catches it. First down.
1st and 10. Wegas. Hands off to number 23, Randy Turner. It's a tough run.
I'll tell you, the Foothill defense, they got to give them credit. They have done a good job against the run tonight. They've gotten attacked in the air, but they've done a great job on the run.
Well, once again, the Vikings taking advantage of a big play. And once again, you talk about that long play and these young players that have honed their craft, knowing when to keep their feet and where to keep their feet. And we saw it for Foothill going for their first downs. We see it for West. And here brings up a 2nd and 11. Let's see if they go to the air. Wegas will drop back. He throws it, and it looked like a little bit of interference there. No call. Everybody's playing for the ball. Incomplete. Number 42, Josh Stevens. So it brings up a 3rd and 11. Another big play. Here's that long pass. Let's talk about his footwork, Brian.
And let's watch his feet right there. Left foot's in, right foot in, and he only needs 1, but he gives you 2.
That's fantastic. Hey, thanks, Time Warner. Appreciate it, fellas. 3rd and 11. 3:12 left in this half. And I feel that the Vikings will be disappointed if they don't get away with 6 here.
Yeah, they've really, had a lot of success going in the air against the
Leach in motion. Oh, he's got a man wide open. Oh, goodness. He had him open, and I just think you could tell by the body language of Randy Turner, say no more.
Yeah, Randy turns one way, the ball goes the other. But right here, just want to float the ball out there. He's wide open. You don't have to throw a perfect strike. And sometimes the hardest person to hit is a man wide open.
Right.
It's like shooting a basket, fans. You know about that. Wide open by yourself.
Sometimes they don't go in.
That's right.
And it looks as if he could have just kind of thrown it behind him even, let him just turn around and catch like a button hook almost. So here we go, 4th and 11. Vikings going for it. No surprise here. I think they want to get 6. Wegas drops back again, throws it. Turner's open this time. No. It's Peter Pena. And it's picking Peter Pena. This man's everywhere, and that's 6 points.
Yeah. And right there, I mean, that's really an easy call. You got a receiver spread out. The secondary player is shaded inside. You're giving up the outside. There's no pressure. You're 12 yards off. I mean, that right there, that's not even making a challenge on the 4th down. And, you know, the defensive back by alignment never has a chance to make a play. Never has a chance.
Extra point by Campos. Missed earlier on the previous touchdown. Got a penalty flag. And we may kick this one again. Obviously, quarterback like Wegas working with a mentor like Mike Lewis knew he didn't throw the ball correctly on 3rd down. Didn't need much to change his mind to throw it correctly the 4th down. He just knew already.
No, and that's good recognition by the offensive staff right here for West High.
Let him do it again.
You see the alignment. It's in your favor. There's absolutely almost no way that defensive back's going to get to the ball. Even if he's a 4.3, 4.2 speed kid, he's not getting to the ball with that alignment. Line that far inside. You just gave up the whole right side of the field and touchdown. So Vance, another timeout called, and they're going to discuss what they're going to go to do. So they're going to probably go for 2 and try to make it 21-3.
Well, here we go. It's 3 minutes left in this first half. It's 19-3 as we speak. We're going for an extra point here in just a moment. So the West Side crowd very pleased so far with their Vikings, and I believe we have our touchdown again.
As we'll see the ball come in, I mean, see where the defensive back is. He's never going to get there on that play. His alignment was too far inside. He's too deep. And as the receiver's fading away, the ball's also fading away. So as he's running, the ball is still going out and he's moving, and it's an easy pitch and catch.
So it was a quick timeout here to get things situated correctly for our extra point attempt. Just over 3 minutes left in this first half.
And, you know,
19-3. Go ahead, sorry.
This is a good play. I'm sorry, man. This is a good decision right here. You get the penalty, you move half of this to the goal line, come out. You had one field goal PAT block. Try to get the 2 points, get the 21-3 if you can.
Wegas, the quarterback. He's got 3 guys back there with him. They're going for 2. Wegas pitches it out. Look at this. He walks it in. Ed Leach. They get it, 21-3.
Now that play right there is the same play they need to make on that first 4th down play when they fumble the ball. Pitch the ball to the back right here. You fake it to the fullback. Everybody goes there. Ed Leach walks in.
Pretty good sell job by the first back going through.
But that's what happens when your fullback is 108 yards. You get a lot of people keying on him. 3 defenders go to him. There's nobody to guard the outside players.
I thought the ball was going to Magsby. Doesn't. Good ball fake, and all of a sudden it's 21-3. Vikings lead by 18 with just over 3 left in this first half. You're watching Time Warner Cable exclusive high school football game of the week. I'm Vance Palm along with Brian Adams and that knockout crew from Time Warner Cable. Speaking of knockout, this November we'll have our final Fight Night at the Garden. You don't want to miss that. World title fight being held at Fight Night at the Garden. Our gal from Garces, Casey, will be fighting for a world title fight. Time Warner Cable will be there. We're stoked.
You know, right now, you know, for Foothill, you want to go in 21-3 or 21-6, 21-10, but you do not want to go down 28-3 in this game. Do what you can do. See if you can move the ball. If you can't, try to burn the clock out and go in 21-3. You know, and talk about how, you know, even with mistakes and poor field position, you still have a chance to go in the game, because last week, you know, we saw a team come back from 21-0, so it's not impossible.
You know what, you set the stage for the game. Last week's game set the stage for an anything can happen season. You know,
yes.
Had BHS blown out Stockdale, we might have said, same old back to normal kind of stuff. It's football season again, but now you just never know. So here we go. Campos ready to kick it deep. He hopes. A little bit better kick this time. And it's taken back there by number 2, Joaquin Gill. No, it's not number 2. It's number 23, Davion Golden. And man, one missed tackle at the end. And then had a nice little run back.
Yeah, and that happens a lot. You know, you see a kick returner bobble the ball. The defensive players coming down, kind of slow down their lanes, and he picks it up and takes off, and he's able to break through the first wave of defenders.
1st and 10 for the Trojans, just under 3 minutes left in this first half. They're going to try to get down and at least get 3, hopefully get 6, and keep this thing interesting. West High School overall playing a pretty solid football game. Their offense has done what it's supposed to do. Defense has allowed a few big plays, but nothing too damaging, and special teams doing what it's supposed to do. So Coach Cornford and his staff has to be happy. Coach Douglas does have some positives to take into the locker room.
Yes, he does.
1st and 10. Engel hands the ball off to number 20, Diego Banuelos, and once again another person touching the pigskin here for Foothill. Moving the ball around. Everybody gets into the action.
Well, right there's just a draw play. Lineman are pushing upfield. There's nobody there. He just can't keep his feet, or he might have had another 5 to 6 more yards on the ground on that carry.
Well, we have Josh Stevens, and he's pretty much a stud for this Viking squad. They don't want to see this.
No, they don't, because he's their leader on defense. You know, he's the prime-time performer for them. You see him getting pressure, covers passes, tough on the run, tough on the blitz, and he plays tight end for you too. So you definitely don't want to see him laying down there. You just hope that he gets up as soon as possible.
A break in the action for this injury timeouts. 2:43 left in the first half. Vikings up by 18 at halftime. We'll have our notes to make and commentary, and also get to watch the West High Viking band under the direction of Dr. Stephen Metler. So looks like Josh is up. Looks like something on the lower parts, down ankle.
On that left leg.
Hey, tonight's game could be a Time Warner Cable Instant Classic, 322-1941, if you want to get it, especially if you're from Foothill for West. A great keepsake, say, hey, that's my boy playing right there, or that's my son coaching. I know Saba's men's clothing store wants to get this for their son coaching, Anthony Saba. 2nd and 4.
And they throw him for a first down.
And the ball off to Gabriel Bustamante. Gets 2 calls in a row. They like what they see. We got a first down.
Yes, they do. I mean, and they've picked up some first downs. You know,
sure have.
Unfortunately, that last series before they fumbled, they pick up a first down and get a big penalty, and just kind of stop the momentum. But they've been able to move the ball. So there's been a lot of positives for Coach Douglas and his crew tonight.
1st and 10 on their own 42-yard line. Got about 58 yards to go to get a good feeling going into this locker room. 2 minutes left in the halftime. Engel drops off. Nice pass out there to Matt Alvarez. Did he make the catch? Did he make the catch?
Yeah, and that's a good catch by Matt. And we talked about earlier, Engel can really throw this ball. I mean, this is a toughest pass you can get. You got a guy running in between defenders. You have to thread it in there. He puts it in there nice and low. He gives the receiver a chance. First down again. They're on the move.
He was throwing up. He was throwing while he was backing up, and he was a bit under. He threw it under a bit. But we do know the guy has a gun. 1st and 10 again. Consecutive first downs. 1:50 left in the half. Engel better tuck that ball in. No gain.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. As they say, carrying that ball like a loaf of bread. But Engel does a good job of getting back to the line of scrimmage.
$1:35 left in this first half.
And somebody called it, like the referees called a little timeout.
So here we've got Josh Stevens being taken out on the West High golf cart. He seems to be in pain, and for a guy that plays so tough and is so tough, I would never think there's any fake grimaces. Are you kidding me? This guy's not feeling good.
And that's Jeff Evans, the trainer, driving him off, who also is part of the strength program here at West.
So significant player personnel change here as far as Josh Stevens going out.
Yeah. And, you know, we can just hope the best for the kid. You know, there's nothing really wrong with him, and hope he can be able to come back and play.
1st and 25, Foothill with 1:15 left. Engel hands the ball off to number 30, Gabriel Bustamante. He's still running. And once again, Gabriel Bustamante, 5'7", 141-pound senior. Not your biggest of backs, but he works and he keeps going, keeps his legs moving.
Yeah, he does. I mean, right there, you know, it's just not quitting right here. He bounced off one defender, cuts back, and just dives and fights for more yardage, you know. And once again, they're moving the ball backward on penalties. I mean, they have to come back in these large chunks, and they just haven't been able to sustain anything and do those penalties.
But it's 37 seconds left, and that's not the first quarter, that's the first half, so they've got to get it in right now. Engel drops back, hasn't had a lot of time tonight, and doesn't this time either, but he can throw on the run. This time he decides to keep. He's going to pick up some yards. He's got the first down. He gets brought down. Did he go out?
Oh, no, they're saying he stepped out of bounds. Stepped out of bounds, a little short of the first down. I tell you, some of their biggest running plays have been Engel just making something happen.
As in last week.
On a bootleg or...
So Engel picks up a nice chunk of yards here. It looks like he'll be just a hair short of a first down.
As you see him outrun the defenders right there. I mean, and Engel's showing good speed, too, from the quarterback position.
Sure. Kid's a player. Looks like we have a timeout. Foothill, I believe this could be their last play unless they squeak out a first down out of bounds and go for it back again. Once again, Time Warner Cable's game next week, September 20th. Ridgeview goes to visit South. Hope you join us on Channel 21, exclusively Time Warner Cable.
You know, and right now, you know, what kind of play are they looking to do?
Well, you've got 4th and 2, 20 seconds left. If they can get a first down and get out of bounds, they might have a shot at, maybe one shot at the end zone. I don't, you know, this guy's got a good leg, Matt Alvarez, but I don't know if he's going to be the equivalent of a Tom Dempsey kicking it about 60 yards.
Well, you should be able to run 2 plays if you can get out of bounds and at least get one.
The first right now.
Yeah, at least get one shot to the end zone. Pick up a first down. Because they will stop the clock to set the chains in high school football. So you just get your line up there and you're ready to go. As soon as they start it, you snap it, and you take a chance at the end zone after you pick up the first down.
Exciting play. 20 seconds left in the half. 4th and 2. Trojans down by 18. Would sure like to pick up a first down and go for the end zone right after it. Engel drops back, being pressured again. Lets it go. Oh, and it goes through the hands of defender Peter Pena. And then was almost caught by Matt Alvarez for a touchdown, but in essence, basically, the drive is over. 13 seconds left in the first half, and I would guess that Westside goes to a knee, and we're out of here for the first half, but you never know.
You never know. You know, I might have to take the pick 'em off. He's just letting interceptions fall through his hands tonight.
Yeah, you know, we do have something to say. We do have some leverage for the young Woolridge player of the game, and an early pick would have been Peter Pickham Pena.
You know, and he still might be.
And he's still up there, isn't he?
Because, you know,
he's doing
he
a good
makes
job.
a good block to spring the other touchdown scored, and then...
So that's it. End of the first half. Foothill has 3, West has 21. You were watching the high school football game of the week, brought to you exclusively by Time Warner Cable. Special thanks to our sponsors, Young Woolridge, Kern 1410, The Jesus Shack, Real Rock 104.3, and Roadrunner High Speed Online. This is Vance Paul for Brian Adams. Back in a moment with our first half thoughts on Time.
The media has become a staple in our everyday lives, whether it's a song, an advertisement, or even a news story.
Everywhere you turn, there's a message in one form or another.
Do you realize how much media your child is exposed to every day?
And everything your child sees and witnesses affects them.
It's time to take action and become involved in what messages your child comes in contact with.
Filter out the negativity and let these messages be positive.
It's up to us to shape their future. Let it be a happy one.
Some things can't be built in a day. Things like honesty, dedication, good hard work, and integrity. Since 1939, the law offices of Young Woolridge has had one of the strongest personal injury teams in the entire Central Valley. Today, that team is stronger than ever before. Through the years, our attorneys have won some of the highest dollar personal injury verdicts in Kern County. Put our experience to work for you. The law offices of Young Woolridge. Integrity you can trust.
Kern County, welcome back. You're watching Time Warner Cable's exclusive high school football game of the week. This is Vance Palm, and as always, a very special part of our halftime telecasts include the high school marching bands of that home school. This is a very special year. West High School's band has always been a perennial powerhouse, if you will, and Mike Bones set the stage years ago, and one of his students at Arvin High School now is here, Dr. Stephen Metler, a longtime, well-respected musician here in the area, top-notch saxophone player. He is now leading this West High School Viking band. Let's listen in as they warm up and prepare for their performance.
Ladies and gentlemen, shared sweat, tears, and dedication have brought together this year's West High School Viking Regiment. The regiment is proud to present the first half of its 2002 show titled Latin Jazz Fantasy. This year's regiment staff includes Assistant Director, Mr. Tim Easley. Color Guard Director, Ms. Carrie Newman. Color Guard Assistant, Ms. Sarah Laylock. Percussion Directors, Mr. and Mrs. Tony and Debbie Duffy. And the new Regiment Director, Mr. Stephen Metler. The drum makers for the regiment are Rebecca Schoonover and Darnell Howard. Drum majors, is your band ready? Viking Regiment, you may take the field in exhibition performance.
Finally, my masterpiece.
With Roadrunner Business Class, you can download files in an instant, making your company look good, and more importantly, making you look good. But this man's company doesn't have Roadrunner Business Class. If they did, he might be in management now. Instead, he waits. With the speed of Roadrunner Business Class, your company can increase its productivity and efficiency. Call 323-4TWC. Roadrunner Business Class. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity.
101.5 KGFM, your station for continuous soft rock favorites. Listen at work. Listen at home. Listen in the car. The artists you know, the songs you love. 101.5 KGFM.
The law offices of Young Woolridge. Kern Radio 1410. Real Rock 104. And Jesus Shack present the High School Football Game of the Week, exclusively on Time Warner Cable.
Stay tuned. More football action coming up.
Well, Brian, we're back here at halftime between the traveling on the road Foothill Trojans against the West High Vikings here over on the west side. It's 21-3. Trojans, you know, for what they wanted to achieve, I think they've done a pretty good job so far. Yes, they're down 21. I don't want to be patronizing or condescending, but they've come out, they've capitalized on a few things. They did march down the field. They've had a couple tough breaks. So we'll see how they come out this second half. The Vikings played pretty good ball, and we're going to see some footage here of their 3 touchdowns. Here's our first one. Talk us through it, Brian.
This is just a swing pass to the back, and he's going to come out here. Randy Turner gets the ball in the open field after a good block by Peter Pena. And right here, he just makes a cut back on the defensive back, and then he races to the end zone.
So that was the first of 3 touchdowns by the Vikings, and you know they're rumbling. And we hope the Trojans can do some serious stuff here in the second half and make this a real close ball game.
You know, what the Trojans have to do really is just, when they get some first downs, not get the personal foul penalties and the ball moving back, and to figure out a way to get their pass defense, because now their run defense is really doing a good job against this vaunted West High rushing attack. And right now we're going to see the second touchdown right there to Castaneda, who catches it out, turns upfield, and goes for a touchdown. You know, and back to my point, Vance, I mean, they have a chance to still get in the game. They're getting the ball back. They're only down 21-3. Anything's possible, especially with kids at this level, because they can go up and down, as you know. I mean, they can be up 1 minute, down the next, and big plays can happen real quick.
Brian Adams, you're the Foothill Trojan coach, Scott Douglas, at halftime. You're telling your kids what?
To keep fighting. You know, you got to sit there and say, hey, we're a tackle away and another play on a pass play from only being down 7-3. So, you know, if we can shore up on defense against the passing game, get our offense to sustain a drive and put some points on the board, who knows what can happen.
Kern County, you're watching High School Football Game of the Week, the Game of the Week, and here's a really good play here at the end of the first half, the 3rd touchdown pass out to Peter Pena, your man.
Yeah, and he's played solid. You know, he's made a great catch on a 4th down, long 3rd down play. Great block, touchdown catch, and, you know, he's just playing a superb ball game.
Got an overall game, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
We're about ready for the kickoff here, start of the second half. It's 21-3, Vikings lead the Trojans of Foothill. It's been a fundamentally sound first half, a few penalties that were called that maybe came at inopportune times, but really not sloppy play, if you will.
No, you know, and for a second game of the year, I mean, there really haven't been a lot of flags as what we saw last week. We saw both teams really get a lot of penalties, but, you know, as the weeks progress, we should see fewer and fewer flags.
So hope you're ready to go. Hey, Time Warner Cable, we appreciate you putting these games into the homes of Kern County. For all of you lucky subscribers, good for you. We're also bringing you this game by Roadrunner High Speed Online, Real Rock 104.3, Kern, KERN 1410, Jesus Shack, and Young Woolridge. Of course, we will have our Young Woolridge player of the game. I'll scoot down after the game and get ready to make this presentation to who knows, Brian.
Yeah, still up in the air, half to play, and a lot of time for a lot of people to make an impact.
24 minutes to be exact, and we're about to crack into that 24 minutes right here. Mr. Campos gets ready to kick deep, and he does. Receiving for the Trojans, number 23, Davion Golden. Looks for some room, gets up to about the 29-yard line, and it'll be Trojan football to start off the second half.
You know, and again, Campos runs down there and gets in on the tackle after kicking the ball down, so he gets the kick, gets the tackle.
Maybe he's heard about the Young Woolridge plaque and the Time Warner Cable T-shirt. That's enough to make any kid run down the field and make a tackle.
He may want it. There's a lot of competition.
We think it's supposed to be autumn here or coming up on it, but it's about 100,000 degrees up here in the booth. So it's still pretty much Kern County summer here. 1st and 10, and wowee. Demetrius Harris grabs the jersey of Gabriel Bustamante and says, hey, Gabriel, meet the turf at West High.
Yeah, and that's where that weight room pays off right there. The defensive lineman does a big, strong kid, picks him up, puts him down, and says 2nd and 11 to you, sir.
Hats off to Steve Metler and the West High School Viking band. Boy, they had this crowd rolling at halftime. Fine job, Stephen. Good for you. Just underway here in the second half. 2nd and 11 for the Trojans. Their quarterback is Dan Engel. Has done a pretty good job. He's got a nice gun. He looks out here and gets his pass off to Michael Valvadimos. And Michael picks up a first down. That is Valdovinas. He's a 6 foot, 150-pound senior for this Trojan team. Can you imagine playing your junior year for a guy like Ned Permenter, a local fabled legend who's not only involved in just Foothill football, but all of Kern County football, always made the BC College reverse drawings a lot of fun. Ned Permenter steps aside. You're going to be a senior your high school year, and here comes a new coach, kind of a young, fresh team. Guys like these seniors want to make this a special year with Coach Douglas, don't they?
Oh, yeah, they do. You know, and what you do is, you know, they're going to look back as they get older, and they're going to say, you know, I got to play under Coach Permenter, and then they can be part of something special to start new at Foothill as well.
Yep. Engel in pressure, under pressure all night. Again brought down, this time by Adam Bailey, 6'3", 270-pound senior. Does some quick work back there.
This play right here, Engel wants to throw it. It's a quick route. It's not open. At this point, he's trying to make something happen. He's had success, but sometimes, you know, he'll learn. He's only a young quarterback. Just get rid of the ball. You know, say, hey, you covered us on that one. Throw the ball over everybody's head, and come back, and you know you got 2nd and 10. You know, as opposed to
2nd and 20.
2nd and 20.
Which is what it is. And as you said last week, you have to establish that running game to open up things for the passing game, and vice versa. You get him thinking pass, and you can mix it up. But at 2nd and 20, yeah, I'm not sure the Trojans will be running here. And they're not. Engel backs it up. He fires it off to number 3, Michael Valdovinos. Makes another grab and moves it up maybe back to the original line of scrimmage, a little bit short. Looks like a long 3rd down.
And that's the pass play that's going to be open right now because the West High corners are playing soft, meaning that they're not playing hard, pressing up. Right now it's just a 3-step drop, get rid of it, throw it to the hitch, see if the receiver can make a move, makes one guy miss, and picks up some positive yardage. But right now, you know, you have ability to throw the slant patterns, and you can throw hitches just based on the alignment of the West High defenders.
3rd and 12. Trojans need to get some yards right here. Engel drops back. Got a nice pass, and it looks like it's picked off, and it is picked off. If it's a clean pick, it's your man, Peter Piccampena.
That's him.
Wow. You know, Pete's racking up some stats this early part of the season, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. You know, he picks that off, and right here, he's just forcing the ball. You know, that's out of frustration. Just forced the ball into a crowd, gets picked off, and Pena says, I may have dropped 2, Mr. Announcers, but I'm not going to drop a 3rd one.
He said, where's that Adams guy, man? I'm going to get him. He's showing everybody that he can play offense and defense. Here we go. Vikings, 1st and 10 on their own 48-yard line. Engel hands the ball up the middle, and really not a lot happened. And unfortunately, if anything happened, we have an injury on this inside play, and it looks as if it's number 52, Jason Blue. I'm not certain that's the number.
I believe that's it.
So Jason Blue is really writhing around as if he's experiencing some serious pain here. Certainly hope it's not the case. He's trying to help himself up.
You know,
that could be more bravado than than brains, maybe.
But Jeff Hayes, trainers come out there to help him out. And he's getting a lot of work in tonight.
You know, early in the season, these kids, work so hard on learning the plays, knowing their assignments, and getting in shape in general. And sometimes the quirkiest things happen, especially down there in the trenches, Brian. Wow, he's really giving it some extra attention on that right ankle because the left one's really hurt.
Yeah.
Now he's got a little help coming off the field.
Yeah, I was wondering when another team was going to come out and help him.
These linemen are tough. They don't want to show it, but Ed Leach just says, "Hey, my man, I'm helping you off." So it brings up 2nd and 11. The Vikings actually lost a yard on that play, and we certainly hope you get a good report back on Jason Blue.
The Foothill Trojans have done good all night against the run, so they've really been solid against the run so far tonight.
Wegas hands the ball off to Leach. Leach gets about 4 yards, brings him up to about the 50-yard line. It'd be about 3rd and 7. We've talked about Jonathan Wegas. Has total control of this offense. At no time has he looked shaken or stirred.
And right there's just a fake the dive. You pitch it to the back. He tried to pick up as many yards as possible. Picks up about 4. But this is when, you really wanted to test the Vikings and put them in a pass situation. But they've gone through with pass with flying colors,
And the no-huddle offense, they're ready.
Yeah.
And Foothill's got to adjust, instantly rather than having, 15, 20 seconds to regroup. Wegas drops it off to the left to Ed Leach. Gets a nice block upfield by Frank Brooks. Wegas cuts back all the way. He's up to the 20-yard line. Will he go all the way? It looks like he might stretch it. He does. What a run. What a run. Ed Leach zigs and zags 48 yards into the end zone. All of a sudden, it's 27-3 Vikings. A heck of a run.
And that's the same play they scored the first time on. Just run different way. And just took a little longer to get to the end zone, but that's the same play. They're taking advantage of the alignment of the Foothill Trojans, and they're getting mismatches. Leach rolls out, catches the ball out in the backfield, turns upfield. There's one player to beat. He beats him. Then he does the rest, making some nice cuts, and 6 points Vikings.
Hector Campos back to kick the extra point. One way or the other, he smacks it through, so it's 28-3. Vikings lead the Trojans. You're watching the high school football game of the week, brought to you exclusively by Time Warner Cable Channel 21. We will have a player of the game presented by myself on the benefacting side of Young Woolridge, but we've got a long time for that. We still got some football left. So here comes that stage of the game where head coach Scott Douglas for Foothill has to say, fellas, we're down 25 points.
Here it is, the quick throw to the back out in the flats. He has one player to beat, another receiver making a good block. Now Ed Leach does the rest, cuts back on the defensive back, cuts back again on another one, another arm tackle.
There's a dead heat here.
And then right here, now he's off to the races. And there's not enough strength to pull him down. And you can see in that weight room, that just straight arm just throws him on the ground.
So once again, we're at a point, as we were speaking about, Scott Douglas, Foothill coach, long season ahead of us, got another full quarter ahead of us. No way, shape, or form can we start going out there and even thinking that it's over, because they could get hurt.
A lot of fun things can happen, but right now, Foothill just has to settle down, get their composure back, move the ball. Don't panic and throw the ball in the crowd. Just take what they give you. If they're giving you hitches, take that. If it's quarterback draw plays or quarterback keepers in naked boots, take that. If it's the dive, take that. But just take what the defense is giving you and not try to force it and force the issue. A lot of times when you start doing that, you just put yourself in a deeper and deeper hole.
You're listening to Brian Adams, former Bakersfield High School driller and UCLA Bruin. An integral asset to this Time Warner Cable telecast. Here comes Campos. He's been busy tonight also. He kicks it off. Let's see if he goes down and makes the tackle again. It's going to be taken at the 5-yard line by the speedy and quick Gabriel Bustamante, who's seen a lot of action from the line of scrimmage tonight, and now he makes a nice little return. So let's see if the Trojans can piece together an offense that, as you say, takes what they get.
And sometimes that's all you can do because, you're limited to what you can do. But like I said, I would just really like to see the Trojans just get something sustained, pick up 2 or 3 first downs, and just put a drive together.
Assistant coaches at Foothill High School, Dallas Plater, Pat Corlotti, Joe Cooper, and Manuel Malero. Done a fine, fine job in the last 2-3 months of getting this Foothill team used to a new system. Head coach coming from the junior college ranks. Very intelligent coach, bright man, Scott Douglas, and look for great things for this Trojan program. 1st and 10. It's Engel. Hands off inside to Bustamante, nothing. Lost about 4 yards. So here we go on a beautiful second week of high school football. We got some big games tonight. I know Liberty's got a real important game here in town. Bakersfield's on the road. Just another exciting week. Want to thank Kevin Eubanks for his work at the Bakersfield, California, and always gives me something to chew on for the day of the game. And boy, he works hard, Kevin. Thank you. 2nd and 13.
Now, Vance, what's interesting now is the West Tide defenders have changed their position. Now they're attacking. They're lined up inside shade. They're pressing up. Now's your chance to hit them deep if you're going to hit them.
That's not what happened. Engel tries to go up the middle again, and maybe got back to the original line of scrimmage. I agree with you. It would have been nice to see them adapt to those changes, but didn't happen. It brings up a long 3rd and 9. It's exciting to be up here in the booth, hear some of the coaches rattling off plays. Not that we can give them any advice, but it's nice to be around the action, Yeah,
that's the good thing about being where we're at. We always have coaches on our left and our right most of the time, and we can see them actually doing their job, and that's interesting, perspective to see if they're up in the booth.
Engel rolls back. Oh, goodness. He had Vincent Morales out on the wing open, and I believe it would have been a first down had a catch been made, but it's now 4th and 9, and I believe we'll see the.
And there's a throw. It just came off his hands wrong and floated, and again.
Look at all this room.
It's just one of those things, like we said, they got that penalty. Sometimes things just start going in a negative direction. It's just hard to stop it and get going positive. But, right now, try to play some defense and see what you can do. But, again, their run defense has been great. It's been the passing game that has let the pass defense has let them down tonight. As, Wiggins hasn't thrown many long passes, but he's going to have a lot of yards because he's thrown these short passes, and they've gotten for 50 and 40 yards.
The multi-talented Matt Alvarez, utility man for this Trojan team, back to punt. Last time they had a deep snap that went over his head. It was catastrophic. And this one gets nicked. It is blocked, but it already lands on the 48-yard line, and it goes backwards. So not the longest punt. It was nicked, but there's a flag on the play, and it may be the big call.
Well, they're calling that, but I don't know how you can have it if he hit the ball.
It might have been the other player, but still.
Yeah, that could be it too.
I don't know if that's the call. We'll see if our fellows can give us that replay. Referee's calling over to get this straight. So the punter was roughed, but we're not sure exactly if it was the person that hit the ball or did not.
Yeah, but it'll be the first thing. We'll have to look right here.
So Alvarez waiting for the snap. Here it comes. The punt is nicked.
The ball's nicked.
So it's nicked, and I believe it
had to be the second player.
The second player that came through didn't get a number on him. And an innocent mistake, obviously not vindictively going after the punter by any means whatsoever.
Oh, yeah. But it gives the offense a chance. This could be the break they needed.
Trojans all of a sudden have 1st and 10 on their own 45. 6:20 left in this 3rd quarter. It's the end around. Number 23, Davian Golden, picks up, I say, about 7 yards and mixing it up a little bit, taking what they can get.
And reverses work against teams who pursue hard and pressure through. As we see a band member, she's done for the night, I guess, and she's partaking in some vittles there.
6-yard pickup on the play will make it 2nd down and 4.
2nd and 4. Real crucial series right here for the Trojans, having been given that break on the roughing the punter penalty. Boy, they really need to capitalize here and move down the field. Engel hands the ball off to number 24, Vincent Morales, and I believe he may have a first down.
And they come with a counter play of their own. They fake the pitch, come back underneath with the other halfback, and should be close to a first down if they didn't pick it up.
They gave it to them. Good for them. So the Trojans making a little noise here halfway through the third quarter. Going forward, making momentum.
You know, and that's what they need to do. They just need to pick up some first downs. 4 yards here, fans. 3 yards here. 4 yards there. Just keep moving. They don't have to go through a big strike right now.
Split wide on the right side. Michael Valdivinas. Pitch out here to the right. Bustamante.
Pitches out to number 30, Gabriel Bustamante.
Picks up maybe a yard.
Number 10.
It'll be about 2nd and 9, if you will. 28-3 is the score. Vikings ahead of the Trojans. About 4:45 left in this third quarter. Game started off with a bang. Vikings running down the field, down to the 10-yard line, not scoring, fumbling the ball. Trojans go all the way back down the field, score a field goal, and it's 3-0. But that's been it for the Trojans, and it's been Vikings ever since, and I mean all Vikings. Ingle drops back, gets protection. He's in the hole. Now the protection fades in, and it's over. He gets sacked, and it's going to be third and about 14. Loss of about 5 yards, and he's just been scrambling all night.
Yeah, I mean, he's not having a lot of chance to do much, and he's making some good plays just to pick up yards from getting sacked deeper. Right here, off the edge, he steps up, spins, just nowhere to go, nowhere to run. And unfortunately, he didn't have enough time to try to do anything to the West High defense. But one thing that, based on the alignment, see how P's playing inside like that? If the receiver learns how to press in, he has to move, and he can go back out to the first down marker.
Ingle looking for time, cannot get it, just can't get time to throw, albeit great coverage by the DBs for West High, but almost a moot point when Ingle really doesn't have the time to get anything off. So it brings up 4th and 13, and here comes the punt team for the Trojans.
And again, one of the things, like I said, and the reason why I said run a play like that and attack their technique is because you don't need to have a long time to throw that pass. He can throw that with 2 steps. 2 steps, he throws the ball out by the first down marker. Now, Pena has to move in as the receiver presses in. You run away from the defender, and it's a tough play for any defender to make.
4th down. Ooh, Matt Alvarez barely gets that off and almost got hit again. But it's a clean punt, clean reception, fair call. And all of a sudden, it's 1st and 10 Vikings, and their offense has been off the field for a while, so you think they're ready to go, huh?
Yeah, and Alvarez just did a good job of getting the punt off. He getting a lot of pressure with that outside in.
So that's, I guess, a key word we've been using all night, and it just kind of fits for West High. They've been putting the pressure on, haven't they?
Yeah, and that's what you want to do if you're the West High defense. You have an offense. You look at the stats last week, they kind of struggled. You want to put pressure and make them beat you. And that's what they've done tonight. They've mixed up the defenses, and they've applied pressure.
Up the middle, Ronald Magsby. Hasn't been a big night for Magsby, partly because he hasn't been needed as much as they might have thought they would need him, and also they've been spreading the ball around.
Well, what they're doing is they're trying to run the ball. That's what they do. But with the 8 men in the box, as you can count the Trojans right now, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 linemen stacked over. That's 7 with the safety, strong safety, 8. It's really hard to run the ball. So they don't even move out when the receivers come out. So they're stacked in the box, and even 9 with the safety. And here they go. They run the little pass play and hope for a big play.
Wegas rings it out to the right side.
Here comes the flag.
Kashif Castile gets winged out of bounds. Was there a flag?
They didn't throw one, but that was real close. Last week we saw flags thrown for less than that. So.
Yeah, I think the refs last week at Stockdale BHS trying to set a game precedent and a league precedent and a season precedent. A lot of yellow flags, as you call, a lot of laundry on the field, and I guess maybe he was still in enough. 1st and 10, Vikings. Wegas, hands off, up the middle. Oh, the big fella takes a big pop, Ronald Magsby, but he stays with it and almost picks up another first down.
Yeah.
Magsby's like tackling Earl Campbell.
Yeah, and now what we're going to start seeing, too, is that Foothill defense starting to wear down. You see right here, he just powers through the line on the dive, high tackle around the neck.
Jonathan
Pulls through a
Wegas
face mask and just go back to him again.
barks out the order, and as you say, Mr. Adams, right up the middle again. It's a no-brainer, another first down. So here comes the Vikings, just methodical, hard-driving line, and the big backs right behind them. It's going to be maybe a pretty tiresome 12, 13 minutes here for the Trojan defense if the Vikings hang on to the ball.
You know, and this is how this offense kind of works. You just keep pounding it. The next thing you know, Wiggins will pull it out of the belly of the fullback, and he'll pitch it to one of the men or keep it himself, and they'll be off to the races.
I like working with you, Brian. You know quite a bit about this game, and it's fun. Minute 24 left in the third quarter. Wegas, just as Mr. Adams talks about, pitches it off to Leach. Leach has blazing speed, but he is brought down out there. Kind of a collar tackle by number 82, Shannon Clark. So Shannon saves the touchdown. Basically, Leach was off and on, and just like you call it, pulls the ball back out, pitches it, and great call, Brian.
You know, and that's what they're going to do, and then they'll get in third down and they'll pass the ball. So right now, this is what their offense is going to be. So teams that have seen them play this year, you know, that's what West High's going to do. They're going to go back to the tradition of trying to pound the ball in that veer. You hit that fullback, then you hit them with the backs.
Wegas hands up the middle. Look at this. Can you believe it? Ronald Magsby goes up the middle, drops the ball. It's on the grass. Someone's on top of it. And it's Foothill ball.
Now, you see, I know people are sitting here and I'm saying the defense is doing a good job, and they're probably saying, Brian, you're crazy. But they've had 3 turnovers.
You're not crazy. Foothill defense done a fine job.
They've gotten 3 turnovers. They have been tough against the run. They have not allowed West to just pound them and run the ball all day long. Right here, he's in the middle of the pile. We really don't see anything but the ball coming out there and recovered by Foothill. They just haven't been able to have a chance to really execute on offense to take advantage of those turnovers.
Every week, coaches around the country at every level look at game film and work on things. Foothill's made vast improvements over 1 week, and I'm certain next Friday night we're going to see some changes here, and it can only get better.
And that's the mark of an improving team and a good coaching staff, is that you get better on your weaknesses.
A man wide open, and it's picked off. He just underthrew him. Doggone it. Dan Engel rolled right, had some time, set himself up for some time, threw deep, had a man open. He sets up
right
and guns
there,
it.
he was just too late on the recognition, and you got to give a great recovery.
Frank Brooks.
By Frank Brooks as he goes up and gets the pick. You know, and it's just one of those games, you know, Dan, and he's a competitor. It's just one of those games he's having just a rough ball game for him. You know, he is a very good high school quarterback, and you'll see him bounce back from this. It won't be his best game by far as we're seeing, but he's a competitor, and he's frustrated, and he just has to keep fighting and trying.
So just like that, it's a backward pass.
Lateral.
And fortunately for the Vikings, it gets picked up by one of the Vikings. A backward pass, actually, and they call it a reception, so they lose yards. I don't know how they can call it a reception.
Well, he gets a fumble recovery.
Right.
So, but
I was going to bring up the point. You know, it's kind of a stake for Foothill. You know, right in the heart. They get this break and they throw an interception left. Now they got 12 more minutes left in this fourth quarter. Let's see if that stalwart defense that's been making turnovers appear all night can do it again.
Yeah, and this will be a great time for them to do it. But I think they're going to go in and just go to fourth quarter and take the 28-3 lead.
Well, it looks like we're going to head into the fourth quarter with the Vikings up 28-3. Unless they try to crank one out, not going to happen. You're watching the high school football game of the week, brought to you exclusively by Time Warner Cable, Young Woolridge, Kern 1410, Real Rock 104.3, The Jesus Shack, and Roadrunner High Speed Online. This is Vance Palm, Brian Adams. Back in a moment for the fourth quarter.
Some things can't be built in a day. Things like honesty, dedication, good hard work, and integrity. Since 1939, the law offices of Young Woolridge has had one of the strongest personal injury teams in the entire Central Valley. Today, that team is stronger than ever before. Through the years, our attorneys have won some of the highest dollar personal injury verdicts in Kern County. Put our experience to work for you. The law offices of Young Woolridge. Integrity you can trust.
101.5 KGFM, your station for continuous soft rock favorites. Listen at work.
This kiss. Unstoppable.
Listen at home. listen in the car. The artists you know, the songs you love. 101.5 KGFM.
Hey, Kern County, thanks for coming back. Fourth quarter action will be starting here in just a few seconds. 28-3, the Vikings playing a very strong game in all regards. The Trojans' defense played very well. They'll work on some other things offensively, basically giving some more time for their quarterback to let his talent show. But right now, it's Vikings ball, 2nd and 18. Wegas hands off to the middle, kind of a trick play, hands off the ball to Randy Turner, and did not work, and certainly what Foothill's looking for.
Yeah, well, you know, Foothill's not a team that's going to put so much pressure they're going to run by you. So when you run the counter play, you run right back into the defenders. So it's a good play, and you know, 3rd and long. But again, this is where West High has had a lot of success. 3rd and 4th down and long, they picked up big plays.
Mike Lewis play calling. Every time he's got a long down, he comes up with a big play, and they move into first down territory. Here we go. Wegas this time hands the ball off to number 33, Magsby. Could it be another fumble? Could it be? No,
yeah.
It's not. Well,
yeah,
it is.
And the lineman came with the ball at time.
Marcus Wolf picks the ball up and wants to get his own yards. So some sketchy ball handling here by the Vikings, and brings up a 4th down. So if for no other reason, the Trojans need to be happy that they didn't really lose any ground on that interception.
They're scrambling for it, and ball's out.
Wow. Trojan defense scrambling.
Again, Trojan defense is that they have been very tough against the run. You know, I mean, you think about it, they really only have had 4 lapses passing that's really put them where they're at. And other than that, they've played a stellar game.
Vikings show punt. And it's blocked by the Trojans. And it's recovered by the Trojans. And now it looks like all of the Trojan horse pushing ahead.
And
that's
again,
fantastic.
Coming into the game, special teams was a concern for Coach Cornford, and you can see right there the punt team get up a block and 10-yard line, 5-yard line, I'm sorry, and right now blocked. And the kid, his own man, and he picks
the
it
block
up.
goes up, and then it's collected
right
down there by number 87, Sean Longacre. Yeah. And all of a sudden, his whole teammates say, Sean, get going. You've got the ball. We're going to push you in there. So it looks like all of Foothill student body trying to push that guy in the end zone. And now, all of a sudden, it's first and goal on the 6-yard line. Trojans could get inside here. Engel calming everybody down, saying, hey, let's concentrate. Let's get in the end zone. 1st and goal. Engel takes it back. Hands the ball off to number 30, Gabriel Bustamante. Oh, he's close.
I tell you, he made a great cut right there to get very close to scoring.
So a good break for the Trojans. I wouldn't call it a break. They earned it. They blocked it, caught it, and ran it.
You know, you think about it. They set up, they played good defense, held them right here. Good block by the fullback right there to spring the tailback, and right there he leaves his feet and comes about a yard short. But,
they're close.
You're right. They earned it. They play good defense, play special teams, and now they want to capitalize.
Split receivers, Valdivinas and Alvarez on the left side. Engel takes the snap, hands it off to Bustamante. He gets, I believe, in. It's a touchdown. Trojans, 28-9 is now the score. And that Trojan pep band finally gets to play some tunes.
Yep, just to play that horrible song.
Hey, Trojan fans, don't call in and get upset. You've got a Bruin here.
But no, they do get to play the sweet brass and celebrate a touchdown, and you know.
And they scored quickly, which is good. They didn't take up a lot of time.
Which is good. And again, you know, you said it, Vance. They deserve that. They played good defense, special teams, and then the offensive line. Give them credit. They came up, 2 plays, powered in, got the touchdown.
Utility man, Matt Alvarez for the extra point. Snap is crisp. So is the kick. Nice long boot. About a 50-yarder.
Oh, they're saying he missed it.
Oh, goodness. I'm not sure I can believe it. I'm not sure Matt can believe it.
He doesn't believe it.
I thought it rolled right through. Here comes the touchdown by
Bustamante. Same play. He cuts in. Almost nobody there. lays across for the touchdown.
So it's 28-9. I'm just as shocked as anybody else. I thought the field goal was just beeping right through the middle, but I'm not down there looking skyward. So it's 28-9. Vikings lead the Trojans. Just over 9 minutes left in the ball game, and it's been a real good ball game.
You know, I mean, you got to give these Foothill kids credit. They haven't quit. And here's the kick right here.
Let's see.
And I'm not sure we'll be able to tell from our angle. Nope.
Now, who makes this call?
Well, he's making it. He says it's no good.
Wowee. I honestly think that ref on the east side was going up with his hands as it was good, and then the west side, geographically speaking, the west side referee said it was wide. So I don't think it really matters a whole lot from the outcome of the game. However,
you never know.
Matt's kind of upset.
A lot of time left. You gotta remember, they gave an onside kick last week, and that's how
of course,
Ridgeview got back in the game.
Stockdale came through and won a big game, partially because of their onside kick they pulled off. So here we go. The Trojans showing heavy left side on an onside. Vikings responding quite well.
Yeah, he's definitely setting up for an onside kick.
The referee's signaling his colleague to get over on the 50-yard line so he can see if the ball breaks the plane. So at every level, there's an education taking place.
That's true.
So Matt Alvarez, who might have been robbed of an extra point, now trying to show his skills, and he gets a nice bounce. Oh, goodness. Well, it's a great nab, and he took a big hit, didn't he?
Hey, that was a great chance for an onside kick. You couldn't ask for a better bounce. I'll tell you this, you got to give Frank Brooks some credit, because he jumped up there and hung in there and secured the catch. You know, for a lot of young players, you know, watch the ball go up, and Frank was a good job of just snatching like a rebound and tucking it in and holding it. And he gives his team possession of the ball.
Now, there was a bit of uncertainty after that onside to see if there had been a fumble here, but now it is a definite West High School indication by the referee, and thanks for the time. Time Warner Cable High School Football Game of the Week. Wow. Hey, kids, you got to love it.
Hey, that's getting like ESPN now.
Imagine. Can you imagine? Well, if you want to ride home in my limo, just let me know, Brian. I'll have to move the car seats, though. 9:25 left in this ball game. You can hear the band playing. The cheerleaders are going. Great weather. It's high school football here in Kern County. Wegas from West High. Option pitches out. Leach has the ball. Makes a good cut. We got a flag on the play.
Yeah. That could be coming back. You know, you see that flag thrown from that direction. A lot of times it's against somebody on the holding her. There it goes.
Holding on West High, and we're up here with all the coaches, so every time there's a play like that or a penalty called like that, we feel it up here. We feel like the announcer booth's going to fall off.
Yeah, we feel, I'm not going to say what coach it is, to our right with the green and yellow jersey, but
he's a perfectionist. It's called a great offensive game.
Yes,
and
he definitely is frustrated when they don't execute and get those needless holding penalties.
First and 15, Vikings on their own 44-yard line. Quarterback Jonathan Wegas once again calls the option, pitches off. It's a repeat performance. Back to Leach. Leach gets strung down at the 50-yard line. And once again, hats off to the head coaches for both squads. Rich Cornford at West, Scott Douglas at Foothill. Scott Douglas taking over this program after Ned Permenter, longtime football coach Dean, steps aside. Douglas, great coach, got a bright future ahead of him here with the Trojans. Rich Cornford doing a fine job.
Pitching it on the outside. Good job of getting ready to pitch. And then dips in, dips out Leach, and picks up almost back to the original line of scrimmage, a little bit ahead of him.
Up the middle to Ronald Magsby. Maybe picks up a yard or two. Assistant coaches for West High School, Anthony Saba. Nice to have a Saba working the sidelines. Mike Lewis up here with us in the booth doing a fine job calling the offense, and Wyatt Ross, longtime football legend here in Kern County, wielding his wisdom on this young line who really truly has been all the difference in this game, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, they've given Wiggins time to pass, and they've been tough on the run.
3rd and 7, pitch out to Leach. And he's brought down again by this strong linebacker.
The ball's on the ground again.
Foothill really likes to, go for the strip, and of course, when you're down by 21, you need to do it anyway, or 19. But no fumble. It's West High School ball.
And that's Leach getting up a little slow, and he's a tough kid.
Took a pop. Here's our run here, Brian.
Right there, does a good job of putting his head down, picking up a pot of yards. You see his leg is kind of back.
So involuntary splits.
Yeah. That hurts a little bit, but again, like I said, he's a tough kid. He's walking it off, and he's going to try to fight through it. And 4th down, they're going to go for it.
7.5 minutes left, right around there here in the ball game. Nobody's left because the guys are playing so hard and playing so well. Looks good. Wiggins drops back. Want to float one out to the side. Looks like it could have been caught, but out of bounds. Probably never could have.
No, and right there, that was the difference I was talking about in the touchdown pass. This time the defender's uptight. He's using the sideline as an extra defender. There wasn't much room for Pete Pena to get a ball in there. Incomplete pass, turnover on downs. You got 7 minutes and 37 seconds left. See if you can get a quick score and stay in it.
7.5 minutes left in this ball game. Trojans take over on their own 43-yard line. I would hate to say that I think the game is locked up, but with this amount of time and the way the Vikings have been playing, it probably is good for the Trojans to work on things. You never know, but it's good for them to continually to work as the season progresses. Engel drops back. Oh, a nice pass and a nice catch by Michael Valdivinos. That was smooth looking.
And those are the kind of passes that Engel is able to throw when he has time and he's not, too rattled. Right here, he sets up, throws a nice strong throw, splits the defenders. Only his receiver can catch it, and what a great attack into the ball. And I love to see receivers be aggressive. Sometimes receivers kind of wait for the ball advance. Right there, Valdivinos goes up and snatches the ball and picks up the big first down for his team.
Valdivinos, we mentioned his name quite a bit tonight, 6 foot, 150-pound senior. A really, really nice catch. Another great reason to buy these tapes. Say, hey, that's me, man. First and 10, 7 minutes left. Engel drops back. He has time. A lot of time. Unleashes a bomb. Look at this. Oh, goodness. Valdivinos got kind of tangled up there. No interference, but when Engel has time,
he can throw. He's accurate when he has time. And you talk about buying tape. I'm not so sure if I'm not a competitor and I know I have a team come up, I don't buy a couple tapes and see what these guys look like.
Do you think it's possible that coaching staffs from other schools would dare buy the Time Warner cable to get your insight?
Well, they don't need my insight. These guys know what they're doing, or they wouldn't be out there. But, as a player, I think I would definitely buy tape from other teams so I could see other players, see how they played that week.
Good idea.
What type of techniques they use. So,
2nd and 10. Snap seems to be unsuccessful for the Trojans, and Engel never had it. And it's Vikings ball. They take over with 6 minutes, 55 seconds left, and I'm a gambling man, so I'd say they just pounded all the way down.
Yeah, right there, that's just like it's a miscommunication. Like Engel wasn't even ready, and the ball kind of, he's not even under the snap really. Center, and the ball comes up, and they lose possession. It's just, it's a turnover you just couldn't afford to have at this point in the game.
So Vikings take over on their own 37-yard line, 53 yards, 63 yards away, from what would be the nail, if there's not already a nail in the coffin.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing now is that the clock is against the Foothill Trojans, and if you run the ball and don't go out of bounds, that 6 minutes is like 2.5 minutes.
2nd and 8, Wiggins looking sidelines, getting the signals from the sidelines that come from the booth up here next to us. Barks out his play, lets everybody know what's happening. Just over 6 minutes left in this ball game. Wiggins pitches back to Randy Turner. Turner turns it up. Looks like it might be another fumble. Was it caused by the ground, or is it a fumble? Is it me, or does it seem like almost every play, Foothill at least thinks there's a fumble? High School. We'll be over on the south side. Ridgeview at South take on the Rebels. Look forward to it. Just under 6 minutes left in this game of week number 2, Time Warner Cable Football Game of the Week. The Vikings up by 19, and by all rights and purposes have put this one away. Let's see if they can execute and get some things done here on offense. Wegas drops back, throws it out to Ed Leach, brings it up to the 50-yard line. Ed takes a good pop and keeps on rolling. He's initially hit on the play by number 82, Shannon Clark, and then Joseph Espinoza cleans it up.
A little quick out to the flat. Everybody else clears out. He picks up the catch. He does a good job of not going out of bounds. The clock will stop for moving the chains, and then it'll start going. So he did a good job. You know, one thing in the last play is the back went out of bounds instead of staying in bounds to keep the clock running.
First down, Vikings. 5.5 left in this ball game. It's been a strong showing all around for the green and yellow. Looks like a little movement
right
here.
Tackle.
Unfortunately, Mark Lowen so excited to get off the ball and smack somebody that makes a rare mistake by this line, coached by Wyatt Ross. And you know, they've got that big-time look. They look good. They're poised in their stance, and I say that ironically after a penalty, but overall they just have a real good look to them.
And that's the history. We talked about it earlier of the Great West Tire team. They were known for having a big, strong offensive lineman that would just eat you up throughout the night, and they'd run that veer all night long on you.
That West High weight room, legendary stories, huh? Here we go, 1st and 15 after that 5-yard penalty. Wegas barks his call. Once again, 3 backs right behind him. Quick drop back, lets it fly. They're up 19, but they're going deep.
Pass interference.
And it looks like it's a penalty flag. So, Coach Adams, you're up 19. For all intents and purposes, it's your ball game. Are you throwing deep to just work on some things early in the season for maybe stiffer competition, or is there a thought that, hey, they're giving it to us, let's go long?
You'll see right there, he just puts his left hand out. Doesn't look like he touched him much, but when you put it out like that, they're going to call it whether you touched him or not. Did a good job of turning inside shoulder, though, but just when he puts the arm out and reaches, they're going to call it, even if you don't touch him. But I'll tell you right now, you know, you got time on the clock on your side. Just run it out.
1st and 10. Vikings on the Trojan 35-yard line, trying to get their point totals up into the 30s. Wegas checks the call, sends Peter Pena wide. Wegas out to Pena. Pena, can he make a move? Just kind of runs straight ahead, does make a move, almost shakes a tackle. Another fumble, Trojans recover again.
I'll tell you, this Trojan defense is scrappy. You know, they took a really big lump last week from North, but you can tell that they went and they worked on fundamentals. They're tackling the team. Right here, they're going after the ball. Ball's not being put away. It's stripped right there. Comes out, and look how many Trojans are by the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, before even one West High player is even near there. So
good stuff.
There's a lot of good things that they can build on from this week.
So Peter Pena, who's had a stellar game, gets stripped, and all of a sudden the Trojans have the ball again. Late in the ball game, Engel throws off to number 3, Michael Valdivinas. A nice pickup, and it's a 1st down.
And that's the pass play that's been open tonight when they've gone to the soft coverage. Because if we see the linemen again, we get the same coverage. I'll try to point out the linebackers are in so tight. There's no way they can ever run out to the flats or to the hook curl area and cover that slant. There's just no way they can get there.
My partner Brian Adams laying it out for us. Appreciate it. 1st and 10. Just over 4.5 left in the ball game. Engel drops back. Does it again, this time to Matt Alvarez, and Matt Alvarez gets up to what I believe to be might be a 1st down again.
And you see Chris Peterson by alignment can't cover that play.
True.
It's such a quick pass pattern. The defensive back is shaded outside. He's sitting on the outside. You run straight at his outside leg. You snap your slant. Ball's thrown. Picking up 1st down.
So it looks as if the Vikings will move to 2-0. Trojans 0-2. There is 4 minutes left, but that would be one heck of a comeback. Overall, Vikings have to be pleased, and I'm certain head coach Scott Douglas at Foothill is pleased with some things as well. Engel drops back, rolls right, has time, lets one fly. He's got a man open. This time it is caught by Michael Valdivinas, and he's brought down at about the 15-yard line. So once again, Engel showing his arm strength, and Valdivinas stays with it.
And, you know, again, Vance, they had some chances earlier. They just couldn't hook up like this. I mean, they didn't have the time or whatever. But right here, he rolls up to his right, and he's thrown a good ball rolling on his right to his right side. This time, he puts enough air over it, right over P.D. Pena, who gets caught a little bit on a corner route, looking in the backfield, and gives up the big play.
One thing we can certainly say, after covering the first two games that we've covered, some really good quarterbacks here in Kern County. We had last week BHS, Stockdale, Betty for Stockdale. BHS quarterback, did a fine job, didn't come out with a win. Here we've got Wegas for West High. We've got Engel for Foothill High. So some good quarterbacks here in Kern County.
Yeah, I think, and they're different styles. Sam Betty's a traditional quarterback.
For Stockdale.
Drop back, throw it. And Javante Francis, he's more of prototype quarterback you're seeing come out in the NFL. Now, not prototype, so that's the wrong word, but this cross-beat quarterback, strong arm, live legs, and is going to run in, beat you running through.
Brian, speaking of quarterbacks, next week at South High School, Sean Tobiasen, their senior quarterback, will be handling the offense for South High School, and we're going to be going against the Ridgeview Wolfpack, and their quarterback, Clayton Johnson. He's only a junior, and he's returning. So we'll get to see two more quarterbacks at next week's exclusive high school football game of the week. And speaking of Time Warner Cable's game of the week, you can buy this tape if you'd like. You brought up a great point for kids to not have to go to the locker room and watch game film. They can just get it at home. 322-1941. If you're a parent, student, athlete, family member of Western Foothill and you'd like to get a picture of this, we welcome you to call 322-1941. I'd do it simply because these guys at Time Warner Cable put together a great show. You get band members, cheerleaders, students, parents in the stands, the expertise of Brian Adams, and, of course, my love for the game. Isn't it great? Here we go. 1st and 10. Trojans want to get in the end zone. They hand it off to Bustamante. Bustamante gets picked up maybe 2 or 3 yards. They'd like to get in the end zone, wouldn't they, Foothill?
Oh, yeah, they would. And that's just also not just for tonight's game, but that just helps you for next week. Starting to have some success, defense play better, offense, you put some points on the board. It gives you something to feel good about when you're in practice because, everybody feels bad in a loss. But if you have things that you can start to see the light in the tunnel, it keeps those players alive and energetic for the coaches.
That's Brian Adams, Kern County, former driller and UCLA Bruin. Engel rolls left. Looks like he's going to keep it. He better get on his horse. Engel stretches it out. Oh, what a heck of a play. Looks like he gets in. Touchdown. What an effort by Dan Engel
he's
to get that
too.
ball across.
He's hurting there. I mean, he's a tough kid, too, but I tell you, he showed me a lot. He was impressive last year when I saw him with his arm. But I tell you, what's really impressive tonight is his ability to use his legs. There's a lot of positives they have to work on, and this will be a team I wouldn't want to see at the end of the year as they get to, control of the new system, new coaching styles, and because they're showing some positive things tonight.
So Dan Engel, number 13 on Friday the 13th, putting that vibration together now. Here comes Matt Alvarez's kick. This one, he won't even have a chance to kick. He picks it up. Can he throw it? No, he goes down. A broken PAT, and it hasn't been a real fun night back there for the PATs, and it brings us to a score of 28-15. Vikings lead the Trojans, and there's just over 2.5 minutes left in the ball game. And Brian, let's talk about Time Warner Cable dedicating the time and the energy and the resources and the people to come out and make football games like this possible for the community to watch. I've lived in other communities, you've lived in other communities, and this is top-notch work. We love it.
I think the other thing that's neat is, we'll talk about this touchdown. I'll get back to my point. But right here, we're going to see him coming out and rolling. He didn't have a chance to pass the ball, but right here, he just uses his speed, gets to the corner.
Switches hands.
And does a good job of diving and putting that ball out there. Knows where that pylon is. Touchdown. Great individual play.
Hey, take it easy on our Time Warner guys. Look at them.
It looks right there that just tearing Carlos's equipment up.
Kern County.
But, you know.
There's never, you know, we can't rest in this Time Warner telecast. These guys are having to look out for star quarterbacks.
You know, a lot of these kids are getting an opportunity to be on TV. You know, for most of these kids, they're not going to go on and play another level and get a chance to be on national TV. And to have a chance to see yourself on TV and be part of a production like this as a player, I mean, that's just great because a lot of high schools, even in the LA area, won't get on TV because their team isn't the #1 team in the state. You know, so Fox Sports won't play them.
At work today, I had guys at Townsend Design coming up telling me, hey, man, I went to West High this year. I played it this year. 2 guys from Foothill. I went to Foothill this year. So, you know, for an old school SYL guy like me from Arvin to look at 2 old names like this, Foothill and West, is exciting stuff. The kickoff goes to number 3, Kashif Castile. Castile looking for some time and some space. He gets it, breaks it up to the 48-yard line. So Kashif Castile's had a pretty good ball game as well, and it's the Vikings ball, 1st and 10 on their own 47-yard line.
Yeah, he's a kid that obviously has some speed. So the coach is trying to figure out ways to get him the ball. One way is to put him back on the kickoff return. You know, I mean, but he's trying to break in against some guys that, you know, Ed Leach, these guys. It's hard to get time when you got guys like that, you know, also playing with you. There's only one ball on the field at a time.
Peter Pena runs off the field. I think he's going to give some time to some other players just as you speak. Wegas hands off to the big fella, Ronald Magsby. When I say big fella, I say 5'10", 230. He's a big rock, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, that's a load of a young man for, you know, other high school kids to tackle. I mean,
a load of a young man. When he's coming at you up that middle, man, you just don't want to see it.
Yeah, you don't want to see him get 3 or 4 steps under his belt, or I think he's going to punch some defensive backs in this league.
Goodness. 2nd and 10 for the Vikings. 2 minutes, 5 seconds left in this ball game. Certainly enjoyed bringing you this exclusive football game. Here comes Wegas. He's running. He keeps. He holds. He's got room. He's got a 1st down already. And the Trojans bring him down. Freddie Leos and Arthur Chavarria bring down the QB Wegas, who's done a fine job tonight.
And not only was his run impressive, but the end of his run is even more impressive. Right here, he's coming out. He's stringing it out. He has room to run. Doesn't pitch it. He keeps himself. Looks like he's going out of bounds, but nope, he stops, cuts it upfield, stays in bounds. Good football IQ right there.
From beginning to end. First and 10, Wegas comes back in after getting his information from the sidelines. With a no-huddle offense, doesn't really matter where the team is. As long as the quarterback's got the play, he barks it out. And he calls a timeout. Bit of confusion, and Wegas, smart kid. Why try something crazy even though you're up, 13? Call a timeout, get it right. Rick Cornford over there saying, fellas, no reason to get stressed. Let's just call the play and get it done. We got 1 minute and 28 seconds left. So in just a few minutes, we're going to announce the Young Woolridge Player of the Game. Every game this year, we will announce a Young Woolridge Player of the Game. Of course, Young Woolridge being a prominent law firm here in town, and they've really stepped up to help these telecasts. We'll present them with a plaque tonight, the Player of the Game, and one of our t-shirts that you can wear around school. We will not be giving you that name yet. A little bit of discussion here with my colleague and myself. It's 1st and 10. Vikings looking to close this game out.
Yeah, right there, good job of just making sure, you hate to see the clock stopped if you're West High, but you don't want to take any chances of a fumble or anything crazy happening, at this point in time in the game. Secure the ball right now. Ball security, ball security, ball security. You don't need points. You need possession. And you need the clock to go out.
Wegas fakes it. Comes around on a bootleg right. All kinds of time, all kinds of space. 1 block away from a touchdown. Doesn't get it, but a nice play. And Diego Vanuelos does go out of bounds, but the clock keeps running under the 2-minute rule.
Yeah, and if he got the 1st down, they'll move the clocks. He doesn't have it. Right now, you can pretty much just run the game out.
We're down to our last minute. The Vikings victorious tonight will move to 2-0. Wegas composed, controlled QB all night long. Hands off to number 23, Randy Turner, but to the very end, Foothill Trojans playing tight. Okay, Brian, you and I have watched 2 football games. We're here towards the end of this one. Tell me who you think you believe the young Woolridge player of the game will be tonight. Speak from the heart, brother.
You know, when you think about an overall performance in the game, with the exception of the fumble in the end, you talk about a complete game. I think we have to go with Peter Pena. I think you talk about a kid who on the first touchdown after Phil was up 3-0 made a crucial block to spring Randy Turner for the first touchdown. Made a huge catch on a 3rd and long. Comes back, gets a touchdown catch on 4th down, and then he gets the interception. So, I think we have to go with him. He played an all-around great game, and it was just like I said, just the one glitch he had. But again, you're talking about played defense, interception, played offense, 1 touchdown on the 4th down play, big catch on 3rd down long, huge block to start the first touchdown. He's got to be the player of the game, man. So I think that's who the young Woolridge player of the game should be.
I totally disagree. No, I'm kidding. I was with you all along. Great game. I think for the first series we were mentioning his names, Peter Pena. Again, a bootleg keeper, basically to run the clock down, and Wegas does exactly that. And I think we're going to put that one away. West High Vikings move to 2-0 with a commanding victory, 28-15 over the Trojans of Foothill High School. A good ball game. We'll be back in just a moment to announce the young Woolridge player of the game live to you. That will be Peter Pena. I'll see you down on the sidelines just a moment. Back in a moment with Time Warner Cable Foot.
People everywhere are choosing digital cable over satellite and adding Roadrunner high-speed online, all from Time Warner Cable. Let's find out why.
Hey, one call gets it all, Doc. I watch great TV, rain or shine. That's very entertaining. I'm on the internet in a nanosecond. That's very fast. And I can do them both at once. That's very amazing. Another day, another miracle.
Call Time Warner today for special savings on digital cable and Roadrunner. Call now.
101.5 KGFM, your station for continuous soft rock favorites. Listen at work. Listen at home. Listen in the car. The artists you know, the songs you love. 101.5 KGFM.
The media has become a staple in our everyday lives, whether it's a song, an advertisement, or even a news story.
Everywhere you turn, there's a message in one form or another.
Do you realize how much media your child is exposed to every day?
And everything your child sees and witnesses affects them.
It's time to take action and become involved in what messages your child comes in contact with.
Filter out the negativity and let these messages be positive.
It's up to us to shape their future. Let it be a happy one.
Some things can't be built in a day. Things like honesty, dedication, good hard work, and integrity. Since 1939, the law offices of Young Woolridge has had one of the strongest personal injury teams in the entire Central Valley. Today, that team is stronger than ever before. Through the years, our attorneys have won some of the highest dollar personal injury verdicts in Kern County. Put our experience to work for you. The law offices of Young Woolridge. Integrity you can trust.
Welcome back to Time Warner Cable 21 High School Game of the Week, where West High was victorious 28-15 over the Foothill Trojans. I'm about to kick it down to Vance Palm, who's with the Young Woolridge player of the game, Peter Pena, who was victorious today with a touchdown, an interception, a key block on the first touchdown of the game. Take it away, Vance.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate the job you've done up there for me tonight. Hey, this is Vance down on the field with two guys that get all the work done. First of all, we have our player of the game, Peter Pena. We'll get to him in just a moment. What a fabulous job. But I'd also like to introduce to you a very important gentleman here in the community. He is the Director of Public Relations and Marketing for the oldest and most established law firm in town, Kevin Burton, a North High star, by the way. Kevin, I'm sure you have some things to say about your involvement in our telecast and, of course, our player of the game.
Yeah, I just want to say that Young Wooldridge Law Firm is very proud of Peter Pena tonight. Congratulations on Player of the Week from Young Wooldridge. Our firm has been here since 1939. We were a full-service law firm and practice in 9 different areas. I think if they watch us prior to that, our commercials play out throughout the game. But for Young Wooldridge to be here, we're just very pleased, and we're always pushing to help with the education of our community and with our youth. And I want to congratulate again Peter for a job well done, and we'll hopefully see you again sometime this season.
Thank you very much, Kevin, and thank you, Young Wooldridge. Without you, telecast not possible. Peter, we're going to run this touchdown that you had amongst many of the things that you did that took place tonight. Can you give us a little insight here? You're having a flare out to the corner.
Yes, I knew the corner he was playing inside, so I knew my options were to go outside, so that's where I took, and the ball was there, and I grabbed it.
Great catch. And, we're showing the offensive side of you tonight, but you started off the season last week with 2 interceptions, another one tonight. You had some key plays, some integral plays to your success tonight. That's why you're a player of the game. I understand in talking to you that you've been taking kind of a break from football. Tell us that story.
Yes, I haven't played football in 2 or 3 years, freshman year, but I just came back, decided to play this year for West, and it turned out to be a good thing and a blessing.
A great decision. In your second week, you're already Time Warner Cable and Young Wooldridge Player of the Game. Congratulations. We appreciate it. That's Peter Pena, 2-0 Vikings. This is Vance Palm for Time Warner Cable down on the field with the movers and shakers. We'll see you next week. Ridgeview at South, exclusively on Time Warner Cable. Thank you to all of our sponsors, KERN 1410, FM 101, Real Walk, also Jesus Shack, and, of course, Young and Wooldridge. We appreciate it, along with Time Warner Cable and Roadrunner High Speed Online. See you next week. Ridgeview at South.